Hey, what's up, everybody? Bogan Monster here, and welcome to Why the Fascination, or WTF as we like to call it. Hope everybody's doing good. It's great to see everybody already in chat. Breeze, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Grasshopper. Everybody else, Jay, Brandy, Ida Bustamante. Hey, Sandra. Thank you guys for the other night. You guys made that a wonderful show. Set records for me. I wasn't even looking to do that. It happened. I've wanted to do that show for so long. I just appreciate what those ladies do, and they do it so well. And I know some of you guys might not listen to stories. I get it, but a lot of you do. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Michael Haywood, what's up, bud? Mr. Fritz, how are you, man? How you feeling? Who else? Hey, Brandy. Catherine Lundquist, good to see you. Hey, Stevie. Robert Dan Dovin, what's up? Or is it Duvin? Sorry. Who else? So yeah, I didn't get to do roll call the other day because, well, you were there. Hey, Gary. I apologize if I missed any questions the other night. They were coming in, and I'm just trying to keep up, and kind of got away from me. But I think it all went well. Angel Nolan, great to see you. Oh, Mogs is in chat. Right on. What's up, Mogs? What's up? Hey, Suzanne, MPW, what's up? So yeah, we ended up with not too long ago, just within the hour, that last 48 hours, we got 1,000 views. So wow, that was awesome. I'm glad that many people appreciated the show. Also, one thing I didn't even think about and expect was I got over 200 new subs. So thank you guys. And I hope you. I tried to say it the other day. That was a rare show. It's not. You guys know how I do my shows. I usually don't have pre-arranged guests. LIB, what's going on? And I wanted to talk to those ladies, and it was good that it just happened to fall on Valentine's Day. So I'm like, shit, what's the next holiday? Father's Day, Arbor Day, what can I do? Wait till June for Father's Day. Sure, there's another Hallmark holiday in between there. Memorial Day. That'd be an interesting one. What's up, Pyromedic? Mike says, great show. They all brought the heat. Yeah, they did. To me, hey, Joe, what's up, man? Squatching Cowboy. To me, those guys or those girls and the guys, all the narrators are the unsung heroes. Like you don't. Okay, I'm on camera all the time. A lot of people are, and people know what we look like. We know what we're about, but narrators, for the most part, there are some that put themselves out there, what lurks beneath, and like Mr. Ballin, it's a different kind of narration, but they're on camera narrations. So I figured people would want to see, hey, who's the person behind the voice, and learn a little bit about it. And I learned a lot, and thank you, ladies, so much. Thanks again. I hope to see you guys popping in and out. I know Leslie's always in and about. So again, thank you all. That was a great show. So what do y'all want to do tonight? For if there are any new people watching, what are we up to? We only got 30 watching. I say only. I'm grateful for that, you know. If you are new and you're watching, what I do is I put the link in chat. You know, the other day, the Tuesday show was an example of that. But this is a normal show now. So I put the link in chat, and anybody that wants to join me, come on, hang out, talk about whatever. You know, just click on that link, follow the directions. It's pretty simple. And come on, hang out. All I ask is that you turn off YouTube, you know, if you just only have Windows, the one window open for StreamYard, because it's nasty echo. Chessboard, what's up? Mr. Vaughn. Who else? I'll just keep slipping in. So yeah, let me post that link. There we go. So the link is in chat. If you want to come on, just click that link. Joe, how you been, man? It's good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope all is well. When I say Joe, I mean the Squatcher Cowboy. Some of you guys might not know his name is Joe. Yeah, so I didn't get to talk about the past weekend. You know, Stevie and I went down to we went camping down in I don't even know how to fucking pronounce it. Either Deshay, Dupuis, Dupois. I don't know how to. I think the S is silent. Dupuis. I think it's Dupuis. Campgrounds. That's where we did the 168. Nona Boss, Marty, she joined us, and we had a good time. You know, we camped and laughed a lot. We did a little bit of fishing. We were going to go catfishing, but conditions weren't right. It was too windy, and it was in our face. No matter where we were facing west, and that's where the wind was coming from. So it was. We just hung out, and but we did catch some peacock bass. Those little peacock bass. Why is it's like where is all this smoke coming from? Is the fucking house on fire? I wasn't even looking. This is where the smoke's coming from. It's the smudge bundle. And because I smudged before the show, and it was sitting next to the ashtray, and I'm like, looking at my cigarette, and I go, I'm not smoking a cigar or anything. What the hell is this? So yeah, we went and checked out the campground that we saw the lights at. We drove through there, and on the way out, there's this little building that I guess if it was a summer camp, that building would have been like the canteen. You know, it would have been where, you know, they might serve hot dogs or you get soft drinks or just shit you needed. It's only like a 2-room thing with a counter. But it's dilapidated and little spooky. So I went in, looked at it. I'd been in there before a few times. And Marty pulled out her phone with a ghost box app. And I had stepped out, and Stevie and her were in there, and they started playing with that. And I don't know, some weird shit went on with them. While Marty was using her phone for the app, Stevie was recording it, you know, filming it. And when they did the playback, when she watched the video on Stevie's phone, they're asking questions are getting answered. And then it got to a certain point on the recording that the audio just stopped recording audio. And it's like, how does that happen on a phone? And why is my shit flickering? That was weird.
They were talking about Give me this back.
But yeah, they did a little ghost box session, and at some point that thing said, "It's time for you to go," and they did. What's happening, Ben?
Hey, what's going on, Ball?
Not too much. How you been?
I'm doing pretty good, bro. That was a really good show the other night, man.
Oh, thank you very much, man.
Man, that was really good. Really
Yeah, I'm
good.
I'm glad it turned out that way because I wanted to do that for so long, man. That was sort of like one of my dream shows, you know. It was just like, oh, I'd love to get these guys on, so I did, you know, with the
Yeah,
help of Leslie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She helped me so much.
yeah. Leslie is great. They're all great, bro.
They are, they are.
Yeah.
Hey, Marty, how's it going? I was just saying how you know we had camped out this weekend. We had fun. Ate some good food.
What y'all ate, brother?
Well, the first night we we got there. We didn't. Even, we had usually we'll do our shopping down there. We'll shop locally down there. And the first night that when Marty showed up, Nona Boss, she had brought some hot dogs and stuff. So we kind of chowed on that. And the next morning we went over to the store. And that night I made some steaks and fried potatoes and shit. What else do we have? Oh yeah, bacalitas, whatever she said. They're codfish fritters.
Oh,
Stevie made those. Yeah.
Hi, Stevie.
Hi, Ben. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
I'd say good to see you, but I don't see shit.
Yeah, I hear you. You know how it is. I sit on my porch.
I was gonna say every once in a while you'll see the glow of a cigarette.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Mr. Hugh, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. What else? Hoax, how's it going?
Man, y'all caught some peacock bass, you said?
Yeah, small ones. Hey, Miss Dill. Yeah, they were they're just they're not big. And I was dealing with that same alligator I was dealing with the last time.
Mm.
she's like, you got a little bigger. No, he doesn't. He's only like a 4.5 footer. But every time I would release a fish, it would make a splash, so he'd come to that splash. So I just had to start throwing the fish in one direction. So, and then when he got all the way over there, I'd change the direction. So, you know, just keep him busy and leave me the hell alone. Because I didn't want to feed it. You're not allowed to. You're not supposed to. So,
I'm molested.
Can you shoot it?
You can't touch it, dude.
You can't do it?
No, you can't do anything with them. You're not supposed to. The sign says Marty took a picture, or I took the picture for Marty on her phone, and it says "Do not molest the gators." They use the word molest.
Well, I guess you're in trouble.
So you know, I'm not getting accused of anything, so I didn't touch it.
I got you, man. I got you.
Yeah. But damn, those little fish fight. And I'm just thinking, if they're, I don't think anybody stocked them in there. Like they might have stocked them, but not the little ones. No, they were born there. So where are the folks, you know?
You're right. So how big are those peacock bass?
I think the biggest one I caught was 6 inches.
Oh, okay. So they're little bitties.
Yeah. But they're shaped like, you know, they fight like a sunfish, you know, the same body type. It's when they get older that they kind of girth up, you know.
Yeah, bigger. I got you.
Yep. First brought in was probably the biggest one.
But I noticed the colors are changing on these fish. Like they're getting the oranges under their gill plate, and you know, it's you've seen peacock bass, the orange and yellow and greens that are in them. It's pretty wild. And people keep telling me, "Oh, they're not peacock bass." Yes, they are. Shut up.
Is the water color changing? Is it more muddy or less muddy?
No, it's the water here is like has a lot of tannin in it, so it looks like
Yeah,
tea.
tannic
It
acid.
looks like
Yeah.
tea.
Yeah, I got you. All right.
Um,
I know all
and I
about
don't know
that.
where it gets its tannin from the trees. Like in Jersey, we'd get it a
Those
lot in the
cypress trees, bro.
the pine barrens too. The rivers that run through there in Jersey, same deal. There's a lot of tannin. It's from peat too, the peat moss.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just using corn.
Corn.
Damn right.
Man, big peacock bass ain't eating no corn.
The little ones are.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you.
I figure if the little ones are, why wouldn't the big ones?
Well,
We just wanted to catch some fish, just have fun with them.
that's cool, man. That's cool. But like peacock bass are predators, dude. They're not scavengers.
They react to it, so they attack it.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm fishing on the bottom. I'm throwing out a piece of corn on a bobber,
Yeah.
or I just like pull it in. As long as it's moving, they would hit it.
Man, you ever try the Senko?
Not yet.
Come on, man. You got to do
You're
it.
talking about using like the O-ring and hooking the O-ring and
Mm-mm.
no.
No, man. You know what Texas rig is, huh?
Yeah, I just rigged 2 poles up today. Texas rigged them with rubber worms. I didn't, it's curly tail rubber worms. Stevie and I were gonna go over and throw some rubber worms, but we never got there.
Bruh, instead of rubber worms, you put a Senko on there.
Isn't it? What is a Cinco then? If I'm
A
because I've
Senko
seen
is a Gary Yamamoto bait. Dude, it looks like it does nothing, but man, it has the greatest. So there's a lot of
but isn't it like a rubber worm though?
yeah, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a plastic
It's just
worm.
it's very plain. I know what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't have any curl tail or anything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the thing with it is,
Oh, there. Jay just said it. A pencil worm.
yeah,
The
absolutely.
head and the tail look exactly alike.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, those things they have salt inside of them, so you don't need a weight, and the salt makes it sink. And dude, they have the best action in the world. And bruh, they are the #1 bass bait. I promise you, in the world, number
I don't
one.
know, dude, because I know the chatterbait, the Z-Man chatterbait hammerhead is it's $20 for a lure, and
Yeah,
they're flying off the shelves.
I just bought 3 of them today, bruh.
See,
Jackhammer.
jackhammer,
Yeah.
jackhammer, not hammerhead. Hammerhead was a pool pump I was looking at.
Yeah, but Senko's are kind of expensive. It's like about, I think you get about 8 for like.
This bait store I go to, they have their own plastic section, like their name is on it, and there are thousands of different baits. I'll have to, next time I go in there, I'm going to film it and walk through the aisles. It's just bags and bags and bags and bags of plastic worms and with their name on it. And then I went somewhere else, and I was down in when I stopped at a bait store down in Okeechobee, and I mentioned the name. Well, yeah, I said I usually get my bait up at Bitters, and the guy looked at me. He goes, "We have Bitters baits here." Like he carried their baits. I was like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I've seen so many different ways, like with those Sinkos, where you can put a screw weight in it on one end, so it the one end drops.
You could do a bunch of shit, but
Yeah.
most the reason it works is because it's just not it's not just a plastic rubber lure or whatever. It has salt in it, so you don't need any weight.
Does the salt dissolve? Like, I mean, because
No. The salt's inside the bait, so
okay.
it's heavier than the water. You
Oh,
understand?
I got you. No, I got you now. I got it.
So it falls down, and it makes it falls down beautifully.
Right on.
Man, that is one Dude, the dude that made this is a genius.
Huh.
It's so simple, but bruh,
I've used the hooks, you know, his Yamamoto hooks, Yamagato or whatever it is.
you
Mizuna is another. Was it
gam-
Mizuna? The other one,
you think about gamakatsu.
Gamakatsu. I use those.
Yeah, but Yamamoto bait. But you don't have to get up a Yamamoto bait. You can get any kind of Senko. Like there are millions of copycats, and they all work well. But boy, those bass love the they call them stick baits, stick O's, uh,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Senkos. Yeah, man, you just
I've
add.
always like fished rubber worms with just, you know, it had a little curly tail on it, or but yeah, I guess simpler is better, huh?
It's not really simpler. It's better. It's like really like so with a rubber worm. You got to get it to sink to the bottom, right? You got to put a
Sure.
weight. You got to put a weight on it.
Oh, you're right. You don't need to put a weight on this. I get it.
Yeah, yeah,
So you
'cause
can just
it's
throw
all,
out a hook
yeah,
and a worm.
yeah,
Oh, right on. Yeah, no, I like that idea.
yeah. The salt makes it sink.
No, and it probably sinks pretty slow too.
Yeah, bro. It's, man, bass tear it up. Try green pumpkin.
I always did good with that and like motor oil, that color. That always seemed to do pretty good.
Yeah, green pumpkin or watermelon flake. Man, that those are some. Those lures rock.
Brian and Chewy go hiking. What's up? Good to see you. Mr. Lee, Gary, as he just asked, where's Mr. Lee been hiding? He is in Ireland. He went to go visit his girlfriend, or they went, her family's there. Yeah. So, yeah, that's where he's been. MIA. He missed a good show. He's going to kick himself. No, and I hope he's having a good time. Hey, Val. How are you? What else? Buzzard. The old buzzard. Great to see you. What else?
Oh man,
But yeah, that was what we were planning to do today. Because I'm just spending too much money on bait, dude. I
yeah.
gotta find a place where I gotta find a place where I can like net it. I don't know where it is, so like where they. I'm new to netting bait, so I have to figure out. Like I've heard there's a lake in town that they've, you know, they just one guy goes there and he catches his bait, so I'll check that out.
Yeah, man, look it up on YouTube, bro.
No, I know how it's where, you know, like.
No, no,
But I
no.
guess they could. I guess they would explain it there too, or
Yeah,
here, or you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah. They have
there,
they
there
have
is here. Here
certain
is there.
the Z Man. They make a Tech so it lasts longer. It's yeah, they got a lot of stuff out there, man.
Yeah, I've seen it where they put the O-ring. They take a black O-ring and roll it to the center of the worm,
Well,
and then
they call that wacky rig.
wacky. Yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, it's not weedless like a Texas rig.
No,
So if they got like brush and stuff where you fish, you
you're
won't.
gonna pull it in. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But we're gonna give the artificials a shot. You know, she knows how to catch fish now. Now I got to teach her different ways to catch fish. You know.
yeah. Look at how to fish that Senko, bro. And that's bro, you can't go wrong with that.
Well, that's next.
I tell you what, man. I just wanted to say hello. So I'm gonna let
No, I'm glad you stopped in, man. It's good to see you.
yeah, I'm gonna let
All right,
whoever else
hear ya.
come on. Yeah, hear me.
Oh, there's no one backstage. You know how it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Miss Dill, thank you for putting the link in chat, guys. If you want to come on, you want to hang out, hit that link. You know how this works. Who else? I know I saw somebody I was going to say hi to, and I don't know if I did. I lost it. Is it new? Caucasian Sasquatch, what's up?
And we got some
Dude, you don't have to ask. Just come on, man.
I know.
It's like, I'm not busy. Well, I'm not begging anybody to come on. Just fucking, you feel a frog, you jump.
yeah. All right, buddy. I'm gonna roll out.
Well, right on, man. It was good to see you.
Man, you're a good dude. Love your show.
We'll have to go fishing sometime. I mean that.
Right?
Yeah. And Stevie is
Louisiana's not that far.
yeah, you're right. Come on, man.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
threaten me with a good time. No, it's like I'll road trips are no big deal for me.
Yeah,
Still gotta go hit Michael up.
I caught like 17 bass yesterday. I caught only 2 today.
Killing me.
Yeah. All right, brother.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you in a bit.
All right, dude.
Be
Bye.
good. Bye. It's always good to hear from Ben. I know the ladies like hearing Ben's voice. He's got such a sexy voice. All right. Yeah, no, I still haven't worn my glasses. My new glasses I got. Just can't do it. I think they're in my truck anyway. I can't. Don't have them with me. Well, I tried wearing them in the truck because that's why I got them was for driving at night. And oh no, that's an accident waiting to happen. I'd have to drive with one eye closed. It's just too weird. Hairy Man Hoaxes and Hoodwinks. What's up, Nikki? I was looking at Brian right below it. I almost said Brian. I was trying to say no, like just cut myself off. Who else? Yeah, so that's what's our next trip. I don't know. We got to plan on our next trip. Michael? Yes, I guess North Carolina is our next trip. Just don't know when. I know Michael's having surgery in May. So do we wait till after his surgery and drag his ass out, or do we just go before and drag his ass out back and shoot him? No. No. Before May, yeah. There's a lot of time before May, so we'll just show up and surprise. As long as I can park my pop-up somewhere, I'm good. Kaiju, how's it going? Have you had any possible Bigfoot activity while you were fishing? Not yet. There's one place we fish. We keep hearing noises behind us in the woods. Probably squirrel. What's up, brother?
Ain't nothing to it.
How you doing?
It's a day.
I was gonna say, don't depress me, dude.
I just won't even bother.
It's a day. Yeah, it is a day. It's good.
What am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to jump up and down and scream yippee yay? I don't.
Nah. No, it's cool. I get it.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I spent the whole week alone. Wife out of town. Everybody's cars broke down, so nobody came by to visit. Type stuff. Like just one of those weeks, you know.
That sucks.
Hey, the worst part is I got paid yesterday, but I won't actually get access to the money till like day after the bar.
Damn. And here you are. Yeah, so we were just talking. Stevie and I are going to probably take another road trip soon. I don't know how soon, and go see Michael Haywood.
If you coming through Georgia, give me a poke. I'm right in the middle of that sumbitch. It ain't far nowhere. Yeah, it ain't far nowhere. No matter which way you go, I'm
Where are you?
Around Milledgeville, just about 2 hours south of Atlanta. Not quite.
Okay. Yeah,
no joke.
I'd love to avoid Atlanta because
if you
that traffic sucks.
If you put Georgia on a map, if you put a map of Georgia on a dartboard, you hit the bullseye, you might hit my house. It's that close to the middle.
Okay. That's how Cottonwood was in Arizona, where I lived there. That was like geographically practically the center of the damn state. But yeah, man.
Wait, was it the wormhole or the face? I don't know which one is bothering him. Oh no, I can't look at that. I don't know. Is it my face or the wormhole? I hope it's the wormhole.
Can't deal with graphics, huh?
I got some other stuff. I'll work on it. Yeah, here we go. That'll be good. We'll do that. How about some of that? A little bit better. Oh, I haven't showed you this.
That was the other thing. Jay says I had good company on Monday. So yeah, we camped over the weekend with Nona Boss, and then we were gonna go see Jay on Sunday, but with Marty, and it just we realized it was an hour and a half there, hour and a half back, and she still had another hour and a half drive. So we went on Monday and she didn't go.
Yeah, that's not tenable.
So we went and hung out with Jay for a while, went out to lunch. If you needed help, I helped him out with something. I went there to fix a bed, but he figured it out before I got there. So I was like,
oh yeah, that's what they're calling it now. All the cool kids, they're fixing the bed. Uh-huh. All right.
I don't know how it got broken, but
I wasn't there for that part. I heard about you fixing it. I'm excited. Now you got to come fix my bed too. I want some. Threatened you with a good time.
He figured it out on his own, so I didn't have to touch the bed.
Well, that's what she said.
Chessboard, what's up? Better get used to glasses. It's a few years before the Braille TVs come. I'll just have headphones on where it reads me the chat.
We'll just do some text to speech and let them pay for it.
Oh, jeez. So, do you do any fishing in Georgia?
When I do, it's for little red breast sunfish and yellow bellies, stuff like that.
Right on.
I don't know why it is. I have all right. So growing up, I grew up in a swamp. So trout lining was kind of a thing that just happened as a part of the meal process, to have food, you acquire food. So we would go trout lining in the river. Sometimes we'd do it in some of the larger creeks around. I don't know if you'd call it a Bigfoot encounter. I told Moggs about it. It's not all that exciting. This same swamp I was just talking about. But yeah, we pull in big, huge catfish. I don't do the noodling, not here. You don't noodle here.
It's like you don't noodle here either.
But the reason you don't noodle there is the alligators, right?
And the turtles.
Snake. Turtles here. Here, there are no rocks. We don't have rocks. We have sand and we have tiny pebbles. So there are no tunnels and things to reach into. So if you find a hole in the riverbank, don't put your hand in it. Not only was it just made, it's still occupied.
And chances are it's not a catfish.
It's not a catfish. I almost guarantee you it's probably a muskrat or and those things are vicious, man. You ever been attacked by a muskrat?
No.
Oh my God, you'll love this. All right. You ever been out fishing with a bunch of people in a boat?
Yeah.
2 boats?
No.
Okay. 3 boats? All right, well, check this one out.
I'm being set up.
This is straight up, man. This happened. I witnessed it. So we had a few too many people to go in one boat. And by the time we got the second boat outfitted to go, a couple other people had showed up. So I shrugged, grabbed a canoe, was like, shit, y'all take the boats. I'll take the canoe. We'll be fine. And the other person got in the canoe with me. Fine. We're good, right? Right? Okay. We head out. We go out to the river. We're doing the whole thing. I'm kind of going ahead and picking out spots to put in to go check stuff out and whatnot, because half these people never been on a river and they're just looking. Well, we had one genius guy from Oklahoma. Got out. Yeah, he's probably the smartest man from Oklahoma, I got to tell you. He hopped out of the boat and saw a hole in the bank. And I'm not going to lie, I was just a little bit up the sandbar there, smoking a big fat tater and didn't want to get seen by my pops. And so when I saw him run up to that hole, instead of saying something, I backed up into the woods. Was like, I'm not going to get caught today. I'm sorry.
Just wait.
He pulled the boat right up to the hole, grabbed a hold of a log, pulled over to it. And I didn't realize what he was doing at first. I just faded out so I wouldn't be seen smoking weed. And then I seen him stick his hand in the hole, and I'm like, no, too late.
Don't do that.
That muskrat, big as a freaking small watermelon, cantaloupe, big as a cantaloupe, ran straight up his arm, jumped off his back, and landed in the very center of a boat with 5 people in it. And then there was nobody in the boat. No one survived that encounter in the boat. The muskrat inherited the boat.
Man overboard.
No, it was muskrat with a boat. Everybody else just gave it up, dude. They didn't even bat an eye. That thing didn't even land before they were gone. It was the most amazing feat of athletic talent I've ever seen in my life. And there wasn't a one of them under 190 pounds.
Damn.
Yes, sir.
I didn't realize muskrat were that vicious. What's going on, Jeff?
I'm just laughing, listening to the story. Oh.
I know how to clear a boat. Just throw a muskrat in there.
You ever been when you lived like up in Wisconsin, Muggs, did you ever go duck hunting?
No.
We go duck hunting up here, and we'll go out when it's, we'll get there and be putting the decoys out an hour before the sun comes up. You're out there in your waders or whatever, and you got your little John boat.
Take your hammer right in the ice.
Yeah, well, depending on if you're out opening weekend, it's actually there's more times when you feel like you should be wearing shorts and a t-shirt than being cold. But
I've done that too. I'm in Georgia. Yeah.
we duck hunting a lot of sloughs, and then these sloughs, they're mostly 2, 3, 4 foot deep. But as long as you watch where you walked around, you'd have chest waders on, you'd be fine. And there was muskrat huts, little piles of tore up cattails and stuff that the muskrats make little huts out of. And we'd put our decoys out and just go sit on the top of muskrat huts. And, you kind of camouflage a little bit with what you're wearing, but we'd call in ducks and just sit on these muskrat huts. Well, it was still dark. I mean, we had gotten the decoys spread out and we're sitting on this hut. And a muskrat, when it enters the water, a lot of times will be like a beaver. Have you ever heard a beaver jump in the water? How it holds its tail straight out, so when it hits the water, it's like a kasploosh, you know. So I mean, it's really loud. Muskrats kind of do the same thing. So you're sitting there in the dark, and like 3 feet to your right, kasploosh in the water, a muskrat will jump in, about give you a heart attack, you know. But
Naoma, welcome. Good to see you. She said no muskrat love on that boat.
Oh man, the funniest part. All right, so that was hilarious. Like I lost the joint I was smoking. It just fell out my hands because I went to laughing. I almost fell out the canoe. Dude, like because the person with me had her back turned, and I went to giggling and dropped the joint, and I just started flailing around because you've seen me get tickled real hard, and I'm just like. Just start flailing around like something's wrong. I'm trying to wave away bats or something. I don't know. But somebody had to go get that boat, right? Well, when I got up to the boat, I was paddling, and I told the other guy, so reach over and hook that front hook. I said, don't stick your hand in the boat, man. I said, just grab the hook. We'll try to get it back over there to him, or we can get somebody with a trolling motor down here to run it back up the river a little bit. We'll go get him. He's like, all right, no problem. He reached over and did exactly what I told him not to. He hooked his fingers over the top edge of that buddy boat, went to pull it towards him, and here comes Mecha Muskrat, man. He come right up that man's hand, and I seen it coming. It like I was looking over my shoulder trying to wiggle the back end of the canoe over a little bit closer so he could get it without getting into the tree. And I seen his eyes go big, and I reached up and caught the branch on that tree, and the whole thing flipped over and my feet were hanging in the water. And I reached over and hooked the canoe. And, you know, if you roll a canoe right, you can get almost all the water out of it in one go. I reached over and hooked it, pulled the canoe back up under me and sat down in it and looked at my buddy in the water, caught the back end of the boat going by and run it into the bank, wedged the canoe into the bank, grabbed both the oars, got the floaters, threw one at him. And Homecuz is just sailing off into the sunset. I didn't have nothing for him, man. It was the best I could do just to keep everything together. He told me that I abandoned him because apparently the muskrat landed in the water. I never saw where the muskrat went. I just saw him react and knew what was coming and didn't want to go in. I ended up just hanging there by one arm for a minute, just
and being able to flip over the canoe. That's impressive. Back underneath you.
Well, whenever, all right. So when he saw the muskrat, he shoved, and that pushed the canoe backwards, kind of upstream. And I had a rope in my hand, fixing to tie it off so we could get a hold of the boat and not get drug away. So you ought to get it back upstream, right? Homie kicked back, went in the water. All of our sandwiches are gone. His phone is shot. Like that thing never worked again. I had a experience with an alligator that I never saw. Sneaky, sir. Yes, sir. I went, it was the very last time I went night fishing with my pops. And I don't know why he stopped night fishing after this, but this was the very last night he did it. We go out. I'm using rotten shrimp for my bait. We're fishing for catfish, night fishing. And we were keeping the shrimp in a little cooler, and about, I don't know, an hour before we decided to leave, this was an hour before this happened, I was a moron, and I left the shrimp in the cup holder on my chair. And I'm sitting, they're raucous, but I've been sitting between them all night, so like I was nose blind to most of it. Sure. I didn't have but 3 left. I was going to fish out these 3 and be done with it, right? This is complete. Set it down. Something came a hold of me. My hair stood up on the back of my neck, and I stood up, took 2 steps back. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you what it was that triggered the reaction, but I walked away from my whole kit, and then my chair just slid off into the water. All I heard was a pink, just tink from the little rails on the bottom of the chair, I guess, his teeth hitting it. But it was jet black dark out there. My pops had just took the light back up to the truck to load some stuff up because we were about out of bait. Soon as that light left, My hair stood up on the back of my neck, and I jumped out of that chair. And then my chair was gone. Pops come back up, and there's my pole, and there's the little bag of shrimp, and there's the cooler. Where's your chair at? It's I guess it's in the river. Well, why'd you throw the chair in the river? I didn't. Then how'd it get in the river? And I took the light, shined it at the ground, and there was a single alligator footprint. Little bitty footer. Wasn't big at all. Single one, just big enough to pull that chair away.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is, I didn't hear nothing.
No water movement, nothing.
No conscious. I did not consciously hear anything, but something triggered me to get the heck out of Dodge right then and there.
That's sixth sense.
When I listen to these stories told by Caucasian, I almost kind of feel like it reminds me of remember when Jeff Foxworth, he had a joke where he said he was touring these small towns and he read in a small town newspaper one time, man's nipple bitten off by beaver or something like that.
That might have been one of my cousins. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That sounds like a family story that might have actually occurred.
Still being passed down.
Yeah, maybe. I couldn't tell you. You got to remember now, same family that supposedly started an entire war over a pig. So it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Sure. We're talking resources here. We used to, when I was younger, over in the middle of South Dakota, where we did a lot of our trapping and hunting. There's a tributary to the Missouri River called the Bad River, and the Bad River has a lot of beavers. I mean, when this thing gets dammed up, it's not good because it runs through a lot of different ranch land, and they don't want it flooding; they want it moving. And the state was paying, I can't remember how much. It was a stupid amount of money, like $100 or something, for a beaver.
Yes, sir.
They would give you a license, special license, like on the Bad River, if that's the area they were giving to you. And, we're talking about, we'd take a 16-foot aluminum boat with a 30, 40 horse motor on it and go up this river. I mean, it had some depth. There's no danger to this, like water moccasins or alligators like down in Florida. But we would go up there with our 22s, me and two of my buddies, and we would come to these beaver dams and we'd shoot these beavers and throw them in the boat. And I remember the first time we did it, I guess we kind of underestimated how big a damn beaver is. Because, I mean, they're big. I mean, they're really big. They're like, they can be like 50 pounds. They were large. Anyways, when you'd shoot one, I think we also estimated that a 22, when you shoot a beaver and you go up and grab a hold of it, it's usually got a little something left to give. I mean, you're beating it against the side of the boat and everything else, And so when we were done, we had shot about 35 beavers, and this boat was barely floating. It was so full of up to the edge of beavers. And we're kind of, the Bad River kind of goes through Fort Pierce. So we're taking the Bad River back to where the boat ramp is. And people are looking at us like, like grabbing their cell phones when they're looking at you, like they're concerned, And I'm like, why is everybody staring at us as we're going along? We get to the boat ramp. Our boat's just covered in blood on both. I mean, it looks like,
and so are you,
a Civil War battlefield is where we came from in this little boat. But God, we thought we were rich, man. I mean, we made like $3,500 that day in about 8 hours shooting beavers.
I worked when I was in high school, middle school and high school. We had this old guy the next road over on basically my backyard's a swamp. So's his. It's the same swamp, but it's 2 miles apart. There's the swamp between us, right? And he come around looking for my brother, wanting somebody to go trapping with him because he had 250 tags for beaver in a particular area. And he's like, we're going to go up there and clean up. I was like, okay, I'll go. And he's like, great. And that began the beginning of a beautiful friendship. This man was maybe 90 when I met him and had more verve and vigor than most teenagers I know today. He was up at the crack of dawn before sunlight. I'm talking 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning. That man did not stop skinning beaver till 11 o'clock. I don't know when he slept. Never did figure that part out, if he did. But for about 5 years, there's about a 4-month period in certain parts of Georgia where you can trap beaver, but you can't shoot them and shine them like he was talking about. You're talking about federal time on that one. But so in certain areas, like you're saying, where they become a problem, you can go in and trap them out. And then they come through and bust the dams up and everybody's happy. So we rolled up in there and we might be gone a week and a half in a boat laying out traps. And then we'd go, we'd spend 4 or 5 days laying them out. And then we'd camp for a couple of days somewhere off over yonder in the hinterland somewhere. And then we'd hit all the traps coming back. And it wasn't like the first or second trip we made. It was maybe the third or fourth. And we went to somewhere out in North Georgia, up in the closer to the mountains than I am. And we got 146 beaver on one trip. We got so many beaver at about the halfway point on the trip back, we had to stop and skin out all the beavers, wrap them up, and then go get more because we couldn't fit them in the boat. We ran out of boat space.
It's a lot of beaver.
Oh, dude, you should have seen me when I got back to that boat ramp. 4 days in the same pants, same shirt, covered in ichor and blood and gore and nasty. And
so they just stand up on their own pants.
That's why when you say camping, I love camping. I mean, the more rougher, the better, right? I just love it.
I heard that.
But
about
I like to camp while I fish. I camp while I'm hunting. But camping while you're trapping is just
it's filthy, man.
Because you can't do a day of trapping or running a trap line. By the end of the day, your nose is hurting. You just want to shower. You stink. I mean, nobody wants to say, "Hey, let's hang out another 10 hours around the campfire while we smell like this."
It doesn't work that way. When you're running a trap line like that, you really, legally speaking, you cannot leave those traps out, but for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Game warden find you leaving the trap.
Here where I ran trap lines, you'd have to check them every 48 hours. There are some places where it's every 3 days. And then I've heard other places where you can't let them go 24 hours. But I guess that really depends on what you're targeting too.
Yeah. I know that when we were doing latch traps for coyotes, those could sit for as long as you wanted. You go check, as long as there was a paw left in it, nobody cared.
Yeah.
One thing I never did was trap. My dad trapped when he was a kid. He did a lot of muskrat trapping.
Figgy Figueroa has found Snowflake. That his avatar, his little picture, if I'm not mistaken, that is Snowflake, the albino gorilla. I got a picture of him too over here somewhere. Hold on.
Dinosaur Hunter says, I just wonder how long ago it was with all those beavers. Nowadays, you're not allowed to get to me. Nowadays, listen, most states, especially up here in the upper Midwest, we're talking Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, Nebraska, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, they control their game populations by harvest. So if beaver numbers are down, they probably won't issue as many tags to do something like that. But when you're talking about depredation hunts or hunts that are designed to eliminate a nuisance, like when they determined the Bad River's got 1,000 beavers on a 100-mile stretch, they need to be eliminated. There is no limit, dude. They tell you, here's your time period, here's what we'll pay you, go kill as many as you can. Because they have to get rid of them. They are a nuisance.
I don't know if they do this there, but we have these about every 7 years we'll go through a whitetail boom or bust, right?
Yeah,
you'll have so many whitetail deer that they are starving each other for having eaten everything that can be eaten.
Well, now with blue tongue disease and stuff, that many in a herd, if they aren't controlled properly by harvest,
right?
They actually it's detrimental to the herd to have that many around because they get sick.
All right. So at the end of the season, if enough haven't been taken, they open what they call run hunts. And that's where they will go to a property, like the DNR will go to a property owner or a group of property owners and be like, hey, we're going to be doing a hunt. We're going to be crossing your property. It's not a request. They're not asking. They're letting you know not to be shooting people on your property on Tuesday, because they're going to get together about 2,000 people and they're going to wander them all off in the same general direction and just run all the deer across a road over there somewhere. And they're going to set up 5 or 6 shooters on one end of that road, 5 or 6 shooters on the other end of that road at a curve, and shut down all traffic and murder every single deer that crosses that road.
You see that a lot in metro areas. There's a lot of metro areas where they just don't allow the archery hunters and even the non-firearm hunters, the archery hunters. It's just too close to town. And yet there's parts of these smaller metro areas that have 150 deer in town. You drive by the cemetery, there's 30 deer standing out there. And that's a problem. And so here where I live, they'll take 20 or so of the police officers who are sportsmen, and they'll draw tags for depredation hunts for, let's say, 20 hunters who want to apply for this for $10 a piece. And with 40 guys, they'll break them down into like 8 teams of 5 people and go out overnight, and they'll just go around town and find these deer and shoot them. And the good thing is they'll clean the deer, they'll break all the venison down, they'll bring it to the food banks, they'll give it away to whoever wants it. It's a great way to feed people and get rid of this problem that exists in town.
And that's the thing. If they let it just go to waste, that'd be a shame.
Yeah, it would be. I don't think they would really get that much support for the program,
No.
In this situation that I'm speaking of, it's only done when the population has reached such a point of devastation that the hunting in general has been impacted. Like you can't find a healthy deer because they're all starving. And so when they come through and do one of these, it is not a decimation. It is a feeble attempt at extermination, right? The idea is to reduce the population pressures on the landscape so the deer can find something to eat in 3 days when the grass starts sprouting again.
Well, I mean, it's unfortunately necessary, do those kills.
It is unfortunate. It is necessary and it is unfortunate, but the only reason these are necessary is because of activities we have done to remove the predators that manage these populations. And since we've removed them, we have to take their place. We have no choice.
Yes.
Or sometimes we introduce those predators. Those predators reach too high in numbers. Now we need to remove the what we considered a good component at one point. Now it's become an unhealthy bad component. You see that with the reintroduction of wolves in the Yellowstone Park in Montana and Wyoming, wiping out half the elk population, wiping out cattle herds from cattle ranchers. And it's like, hey, look, it's great that we've got some wolves to drive around and look at through binoculars and say, ooh, honey, look, a wolf. But when you have them wiping out populations now because these wolves were increasing their own population, and nobody was keeping them in balance. And that's the key.
Yeah, well,
Is,
it's not
you
like
know,
they
if a
stocked
state
feral
is
wolves.
yeah, if a state issues you a tag to go out and shoot coyotes or run a trap line, at the end of the season, they look at all these people who are licensed. They survey them and say, how many coyotes did you harvest this year? What counties did you primarily hunt in? And then they do their math and they do flyovers and they look at different areas and say, we didn't harvest enough of them to keep them under control. So now we need to get rid of 1,200 coyotes over the next 30 days.
Carson says, what is this? We have controlled permit deer hunts here in upstate New York also. Much needed.
All right. Paramedic, when it comes to game birds like that, when you first release the predator population to kind of do what it does, the idiots out of the bird population are all wiped out. And for 2 or 3 years, you'll have a reduced population. But later, give it a little time, they'll get a little bit smarter and won't be victims anymore.
Yeah. Usually when it comes to birds, whether it's like around here, it's number one is pheasants, but we've got a lot of grouse, a lot of quail, a lot of turkeys. And usually when it's a down year for them, meaning the hatch wasn't that good, it's on very dry years or very, very wet years where they may have went in and made nests, and then you got 8 inches of rain over 3 days, and now you've got a little slough pond sitting in the lowland of a planted cornfield that's normally no water, but now it's all flooded. And it's amazing how much those little climate type stuff will alter the success of game birds. But the day before yesterday, I was looking out my big picture window out at the lake, and we get pheasants that run around in my backyard. And especially now that it got warm enough where we melted off some of our snow, these pheasants run down to the edge of the lake because there's water right along the edge, and they'll drink out of the edge of it. And I was watching 3 or 4 pheasants running around down there, and here comes this bald eagle, comes flying in and snatches one of those pheasants up and then lands further up, right probably about 30, 40 feet from my window, standing in my yard, tearing the shit out of this thing. It was unbelievable. And it kind of forgot about how big these bald eagles are. When you see one from that far away, standing there with its
First time I
wings
saw a
out
bald
there,
eagle,
this thing,
that sucker's 3.5, 4 foot tall, brother. Homie was standing there all puffed out with muscles and stuff, standing on the side of the road like I'm eating a chunk of deer and it's mine and don't be messing with it. I pulled up right next to it in my little car and looked out and realized that I was eye to eye with it and was like, man, that thing is massive. That thing's way bigger than I thought it was.
When we were at the Land Between the Lakes, hold on, there's a...
It sounds like a helicopter flying over.
Helicopter keeps going by. When we were up there, that was the first time Stevie ever
kids
saw.
are calling it now. Yes.
What's that?
It's what all the cool kids are calling it. The helicopter.
When we were up there, Stevie got to see her first eagle grab a fish, come down, grab a fish, and take off. She had never seen that before, so that was pretty cool. They are pretty big animals. They saw them a lot in Arizona.
Yeah.
I did want to say hi to some people that popped in. Figgy Figueroa, how are you? Great to see you. Carson, 1954, what's up?
Seeing a lot of people revisiting from your show that you did Tuesday night. And the chat was crazy. I mean, they have 170 some people there live, and it was just unbelievable how many people were popping in the chat.
Yeah, it was a good time, and I'm glad to see people showing up, and that's why I try to explain, this show isn't the norm.
Well, yeah, I think I typed that in chat too. And I was like, hey, don't forget, every Tuesday and Thursday night, Mogs is doing this at 9 p.m. Eastern, because the way they were going and talking, and you could tell literally about half the chat, this was their first time here. And I'm just thinking, I wonder if they really, do they know this is going on every Tuesday and Thursday night, and more of a, because one of them was like, hey, you should have them back. And it's like, they can come back whenever they want.
Yeah,
they don't need
not a
the
problem.
invite.
Well, I see Naomi Finn stopped in. She's in chat, or was. I don't know if she's still here. Oh, she just said good night. Good night, Naomi. Thank you again. That was a wonderful show. You got Figgy Figueroa here. Figgy's got a channel. She does a lot of cooking, a lot of Puerto Rican cooking. Stevie pointed that out.
This brings up a question in my mind. How do Puerto Ricans taste?
I don't know.
Are they spicy?
And do they use real Girl Scouts and Girl Scout cookies?
I've always wondered. Who were these Puerto Ricans?
Well, then there's those Girl Scout cookies that are Samoans, right?
Some of them.
So, isn't there a Girl
But
Scout
it's weird
cookie
because the
that's
cookies
a
got
Samoan?
smaller. I thought Samoans were big.
Yeah, when I opened up the first box of Samoans I had,
no,
they
you
were
don't
tiny.
cook.
I thought Samoans were huge, man.
So now I'm concerned about the oatmeal Debbie cream pies. Little Debbie. I'm really concerned.
Yeah.
Little Debbie, huh?
Then you gotta wonder what's going on at Wendy's.
What?
All right,
Actually,
so bald eagles.
that does bring up a kind of
Talking about bald eagles coming back. I was 28 when I saw my first bald eagle, and it was in the strangest circumstance of just literally standing on a deer on the side of the road that had been hit by a car. And I was like, hi. But the second one I saw on Edisto Island in South Carolina, there is a nest that it's on one of the old power line poles from back in the day when they used to kill all the eagles. You remember that? Because the lines were just wide enough apart they could touch both of them.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a giant shot rod for eagles, just wiped them all out. So one of those poles is still standing just off Edisto Island, and it has a massive bald eagle nest in it. It is ginormous. It looks like a top hat on top of that pole.
Are they completely bald or more of a landing strip?
You got me, bud. You got me on that one.
You got a lot of osprey down here. So you see the osprey nests that look similar to that up on top of posts and stuff.
Yeah.
And
We see a lot of we get a lot of golden eagles as well as, but they're not as big. But a bird that is as big is turkey vultures.
They're huge.
When you see a turkey vulture's wingspan, I mean, it's like 7 feet. It is unbelievable how big those things are.
And I think I have a suspicion. You hear about the thunderbirds in the past, right? I suspect that the size of vultures is directly related to the size of the animals they feed on.
Yeah. I mean, turkey vultures where we're at, where there are a lot of them along the Missouri River and stuff, not only are they eating dead fish and carp, which have a lot of fish oil in them and it's very nutritious so that you can get big, but they're also eating literally mule deer. I mean, you'll have a 1-year-old or a half-year-old mule deer out there, and you'll see like 7 or 8 turkey vultures on it chomping away. I mean, it's crazy.
Middle of a swamp. Keep that in mind. Just about every one of these stories, even if it happens in my front yard, it's in the middle of a swamp. Keep that in mind.
Florida, I live in the middle of a swamp.
You understand. Most people around here look outside and they see a street and they don't see water running down the middle of it. And they go, that's perfectly normal. And I think, well, where's their water at?
Right.
How you gonna get down that street without a canoe? It don't make no sense. Anyway, so Pops come home one afternoon, hands me these tags. He's like, "Look, we're hunting over here on the such and such a place, and I've got this many tags for this many turkey." I was like, "Oh, cool! This is like walking distance from my house." I was excited. I was like, "Hot damn, let's go!" So I went in, I grabbed the 22, put on my little gear and everything, got up all my stuff, grabbed my permits and all that stuff. And rather than waiting for him, I just booked it right on out the door, cut across the back of old Thomas's field, and went off to go hunt over there on the hill over there, real close to the house. I was so excited. Before I quite got to where I was going, though, I found the turkeys, or rather they found me. I had, no joke, literally just dropped the clip into the bottom of that rifle, pulled the bolt back, and me pulling the bolt back triggered the turkeys that had already bedded down around me, and they popped up like quail. But have you ever seen a 35-pound quail take off? And have you ever heard 20 of them do it at the same time? I panicked. I freaked out. I did not know what had happened. And the very first one come by my head at about 3 foot. And somehow I pulled that rifle around and gunned it down, blew its head clean off. That sucker hit the ground, slid into my foot. The next one come right over my head. I pulled the trigger on it and blew the craw out of it. It missed my head by yay much. And then I stood there just breathing real hard. Pops comes running across the road, trying to come find out what just happened, because I ain't supposed to be shooting yet. I only just got out the door. Like, I just left. Pops comes out here. He's like, "What you shooting at?" And I'm like, pale, pasty white, right? The first one was pure, no joke, self-defense. I didn't know what was coming at my face at that point in time. I just saw eyeballs and ended it. I didn't have any clue what it was. And I know that sounds unsafe, but consider that it was within 1.5 feet of me before I pulled the trigger. Like, it was way too close.
Justifiable homicide.
Absolutely justifiable in every state of the union, even in New York.
Wow. Pyro, he's in. Oh, I guess everybody's still asking where Mr. Lee is.
Yeah, he's
still
in Ireland, right?
Yeah. Good day, Mark. Good to see you. Daily Dan, I know you've been here for a while. I just hadn't had a chance to say hi.
No. Bat Mom.
Oh, yeah, Bat Mom's here. Pyromedic, what's up?
Long duck dong.
Long duck dong. Pretty in pink. Pretty sure that's
Duck,
what was that.
Where is my car? Lake. Big lake.
Have you either one of y'all seen Howard the Duck?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about it? Or what do you know about it? How about that?
Like its origin and history and shit?
The movie, you know about the movie, nothing else.
Yeah, I saw it. I didn't like analyze it.
All right. Well, I did a show a while back about Howard the Duck. I went on a full deep dive into a couple of different videos that go into the full-on lore of where he came from, why he's in Marvel, how that came to pass, and what it means.
What'd you come up with?
There was a lot of drugs involved.
Yeah, I could see that.
It often makes you wonder if you knew the whole backstory between, that surrounds the production and the actual physical creation of a lot of these Disney and Pixar, Marvel type stories. How many really weird circumstances exist and how they came to be,
I will always have an infinite amount of respect for Ed Harris. While he was filming The Abyss, he drowned twice.
Really?
They had to resuscitate his ass on the set twice.
It's
And
ironic that in the movie he had to resuscitate his
what's her name?
his wife in it, or ex-wife.
Yeah.
Even then, he was the guy who volunteered to breathe the liquid at the end of the movie. And that was a real scene. So he drowned twice and then volunteered to not drown in liquid.
Damn.
Infinite respect. The man is a craftsman.
Or a sucker for punishment. I don't know. Wow.
Well, I'm just saying, you don't die twice doing
man.
stuff that you don't like. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't die and then go back to work. I don't. You kill me on a job, I'm done with that job.
Donald Fuller says, I hear there's a lot of drugs involved while filming Caddyshack, which reminds me of that was one of the most disappointing commercials of the Super Bowl. Did you see that commercial that was, around the Caddyshack theme? It was the recreation of the movie scene. And they did it with a lot of today's people, but I'm like, they could have got Bill Murray or, just to do a guest cameo in that, just towards and have him come by on the golf cart dressed as the groundskeeper guy, and say one line. It would have made that the best commercial of the Super Bowl. And instead,
I didn't see the Super Bowl.
Completely sucked.
I didn't see the commercial. We were camping during the Super Bowl or fishing or something.
Mark asked a question, and I actually do know a little bit about the permits in the parks. So I think it was 5 months ago, they changed the interpretation of what it means to be filming in a public park. And if a park is in association with the National Park Service, and most of them are, then it is technically illegal to film, anytime, anywhere without a permit. The permit is cheap and is supposed to be easily acquirable, but none of the systems have been put into place for you to actually get a permit.
Really?
Well, they're considering it a business now. There is no such thing as non-commercial filming.
Yeah,
that's bullshit.
But here's the thing. Correct. Thank goodness that most of these rules are putting in place. Most of these rules that they put in writing do not override your First Amendment right to stand in public space and film whatever the hell you want to. You cannot trespass my eyes.
These permits are directly violating your First Amendment in National Park Service spaces.
Well, how could they enforce it if they don't even have permits available?
Like I said, this past 4 months ago, and it may have changed recently, but as of about a month and a half ago, when I did the show, my little I do a 3-part show. When I do shows, it's like there's 3 different topics and they're different. So there's something for everybody. It's kind of the idea. But there'll be a general theme. So like if it's movies, it'll be 3 different movies. If it's books, it'll be 3 different books. If it's random crap, it'll be 3 different, very random things. About 2 hours. But I covered that right after all of that passed. And a buddy of mine the next day was actually in Almost Park, maybe. Anyway, he went to film not the car show, but the place where they go after the car show when they're not doing the car show, right? So they're in public and there's a bunch of really, really cool cars, but they're not in their little stalls with their little things and their books and all that stuff. It's just them hanging out, having a cigarette, drinking a beer or whatever, He goes over there and he's filming. Park ranger comes up to him, explains to him he can't be filming in the park without a permit, but pulls out his little ticket book. He's like, I haven't even figured out how to go about getting a permit, but here, I'll write you out a permit right here. I permit you to do things. Go ahead here. If anybody ever gives you any trouble over here for doing this, show them that. He was utterly astounded. He said he was so surprised by the fact that A, he was approached, and B, he was given a handwritten permit on the back of a ticket because the guy didn't know what to do with it. He knew he was supposed to enforce it, but didn't know how.
Huh.
Right? But he was standing there with the camera, and whenever dude walked up, he paused it He was actively filming and
When you
pausing.
say, but camera, was he using his phone? Does it apply to
It was a
phones?
cell
Is it
phone.
all
Yeah.
filming? Is it? See, that's
It was
crazy.
his cell phone. It was his
See,
cell phone. He was standing there with a camera and a little microphone recording the sounds.
So every bus that passes through Yellowstone filled with tourists with
Freaking
cameras, they're not
dash
allowed to
cams.
film.
Dash cams. Every
Yeah,
car
That's
with
a
a
First
cam.
Amendment violation. First Amendment
That's
violations when it comes to filming and photography is one of the most abused situations of all of your rights as a citizen.
Yes, sir.
And it
You're
is
correct.
done by
Every
post
single-
offices, courthouses,
Every
police
government
departments,
organization in existence.
blatantly. And here's the funny part. They're not doing it. They're not looking at it saying, hey, I know this is wrong. We're going to do it anyway. They think they're in the right to
think
do
they're
it.
right.
It is absolutely crazy. You can walk in. First of all, we also have a lot of people in the public who don't understand it either. If I'm standing on a public sidewalk or a park, or I'm in the entrance area of a post office, or I walk into a courthouse, public building, taxpayer owned, there are certain areas that are by definition legally you can't film in, like a courtroom, things like that. But in public accessible areas of the courthouse, all of these things, you are absolutely allowed to film whatever you want to film. Nobody can trespass your eyes there. But when people are walking down the sidewalk telling you, or they're mowing their yard on their property and you're over on a sidewalk filming and you happen to catch them in your filming and they come over and yell, you don't have my permission to film me. Nobody needs your permission to film you. Nobody does. You have no right to privacy once you leave your property. You really don't. It'd be like if I'm at Disney World taking a picture of my kids and there's 300 people that walk by in the background. I don't need 300 people's permission to take a picture of my damn kids just because they're in the background. It's public.
All right. So there's a simple phrase to think of anytime somebody approaches you about public photography of any sort. At the very second it crosses your mind that you're filming, look down at your feet and decide, is this public or is this private? Yeah. If you are on private property, walk immediately to public.
There's a lot of businesses too. You see this a lot in these First Amendment auditors. What I've
interviewed a bunch of
these businesses believe that they own their property all the way up to the edge of the sidewalk or the edge of the road. What they don't understand is in the very center of that road, over to the edge, there is what's called a right-of-way, in which is public. And that right-of-way might extend 15 feet onto your private property because by definition, it's there every hour of every day from the center of the road over 33 feet or whatever it is in that area. So, these people that think, oh, you can't be filming, you can't do this. And police officers, they'll call the police and the police say, what are you doing out here? Do you have a permission? They don't even know. They don't even know. They're getting sued left and right by these First Amendmenters that are filming them. They're suing the living shit out of people.
Who do you watch? Who's your channels? Who's your guy?
Oh, there's a bunch of them on there, but I really like the one that the Arma, what's his name? Is kind of a shorter hair, has a big beard. He's always with his son. His
Sam Joaquin?
He has his teenage son with him all the time. They typically will go to courthouses, sheriff's departments, and
I sound like Sam Joaquin.
And post offices.
San Joaquin Transparency.
The post office itself, every single post office in the country has a poster hanging. It's called Poster 7.
Poster 7, yeah.
From the federal government that states you have freedom of press, which is not extended only to press members. There are no press members. There are none. Who issues a press pass? If somebody ever asks you, do you have a press pass? Ask them, who issues a press pass? Nobody does. That's stupid.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. There are press passes issued. They are issued by newspapers. They are private entities issuing private.
I could print something off that says Jeff's YouTube channel,
yes,
and that's the same, just as good as one that says the New York Times. But there is nothing that is protected for a member of the press that's not protected for you as a public citizen when it comes to filming. Nothing at all.
Exactly.
Miss Dill says, "What the hell can we do these days? Take me back in time, please."
Go check out Truth Be Told Audits out of Louisiana. He does, or up until about a week ago when he ditched his bike, he was doing almost daily audits on and cop watching. You could catch stuff all the time from his channel. NC Tyrant Hunter's excellent if you happen to be East Coast. Michelle's Mobile Media is real good if you like Texas.
See you watch
I covered a bunch of these people. I interviewed probably 30 auditors across the U.S. over the past year or two. A couple of them are shitheads and grifters, and they're real ill people.
Some are real gruff the way they try to get people to violate their rights, but some of them are, pretty easygoing. People running up to them on the sidewalk screaming, saying, you have no right to film. And they're like, if you have a problem with it, call the cops. Because they're thinking, hey, the cops are going to come here and tell you he's allowed to do this. And half the time when the cops are called, cops don't know shit.
Hey, Mox.
They're trying to violate the guy's rights.
In Canada, that place that looks like America's hat?
Something like that. No, it's somewhere in there.
It was that other state, right?
the big state.
Real big state up there with all the ice and the moose.
And
I didn't know there was actually anybody up there. I thought that was a myth, like Bigfoot.
Well, the majority of them live just above New York.
Oh, I heard the most terrifying story the other day. Buddy, my called me up in the middle of the night, and he goes, "Sasquatch, man, I had this nightmare. There was this Canadian. He was didn't like poutine and wouldn't drink bad beer." I said, "Oh my God." Actually, I love Canadians and Newfies. Some of my favorite people are Newfies. And
you know what? Canadians are too nice for their own good. It's awesome.
They're literally killing their own citizens faster than cars are here.
How so?
Are you serious?
I didn't. Yeah, I don't.
Okay. What's it called? Hold on. Let me think. It's
I don't watch the news.
MAID. I think it's called the MAID system, where people who have reached a point of life where they can no longer be productive unto themselves are given the option to opt out. But people are reporting that they're not being given the option. They're being denied all other care. Here, kill yourself or live in utter pain and misery for the rest of your life. Destitute and broke. That's the story I'm hearing. I don't know that that's actually what's happening, but that's what I've been reading in the backlogs. Yeah, that's what I've been told.
No idea.
But right now, according to the numbers, Canada's second leading cause of death is self-inflicted state mandated.
I know that and I'm not sure if it's all the province. I think it is that assisted suicide is legal there now. That you can go and say, I don't want to be alive anymore. And if you want to hire somebody to help you end that process, you can't be jailed for that. As far as I know, I've read that I've seen a lot of different YouTube videos that talk about that subject. But
right.
What you're bringing up is the idea that people who have government ran healthcare who have bad situations, whether it's disease or cancer or whatever, and they're saying, hey, look, I want to keep fighting it, I want to keep trying, and they're like, well, we ain't gonna help you keep trying anymore either.
Details, but I'm not gonna name the man or anything. But homie's missing his legs and has some infectious skin thing going on, and they just pulled all of his meds. And I don't know if it's a glitch in the system. It happens sometimes, bureaucracy is a bureaucracy. It might be just a hiccup. I don't know. But he is He's not the only one.
Huh.
There's another chick. She broke her knee. Was in line for a knee replacement. She's 69 or so, but she's also let me go look at that first. Let me see if I can dig that back up, because I might be mixing up two different stories on that one. Drawing a blank on something.
Yeah, that would be a shame when your government starts saying, well, you know, you lived,
Well,
you
it's
had a good
happening
run.
here now too with VA healthcare. I, as a veteran, I utilized VA healthcare for quite a while, and I can tell you, there's been times where I've been in the hospital at a VA hospital where I had surgery. I had something done to my foot when I was bitten by a Western black widow spider, and it got infected really bad and had to have a little divot taken out of the top of my foot. And I remember the 11 days or whatever I was in the hospital there for that whole deal, raving about the health care, raving about how great the nurses were and the doctors. It was awesome. That was about 7-8 years ago, probably about 5 years ago. And right now, we've reached a point where at the VA healthcare in the last 3 years, it's absolutely gone to shit, complete shit. I've gone in about every 6 months to see a primary care physician, which should be your main doctor. Over the last 2 years, the 4 or 5 visits I've been in, every time I go, it's not the same doctor. Oh, you've got somebody else now. Oh, they've got somebody else. You know why? Because doctors come and work for them and it fucking sucks and they quit.
That's a shame.
They'll go somewhere else. They can't hire decent doctors. They don't treat them right. You know, as far as I'm concerned, the VA should pay their healthcare workers 20% more than any private company in that area does to ensure they are getting the best, because their patients deserve that.
Absolutely, they do.
Part of that too is the patient load is so overloaded.
Well, Stevie just says part of that too is the overload in patients.
Properly, there wouldn't be an overload.
True.
If they were paid for the work they were doing, which is to be a specialist in a given medical field, and is at least a 14-year freaking degree to specialize, something like that. That should be worth a little cheddar. I don't think that's asking too much.
One of the things the VA has done now, and it's something that they did recently, was they opened this up, their community care sector. Meaning, if I went to my local VA and I said, hey, I need to have cataract surgery, I need to have whatever you need, and it's something that needs to be done in a timely manner, let's say in the next 30 days, and they look and say, look, we can't get you in here in-house for our procedure, our personnel that do that procedure, for 3 months. So we're going to put you into community care. You go pick where you want to have it done. They'll send us the bill. So they're basically subcontracting out the healthcare. And there were people that were able to get that done. I did that with a couple different things. But one real interesting thing they've done now is a lot of these VA centers are closing their emergency rooms, and they're downsizing some of their specialty care areas. And then when somebody comes in and says, hey, I need to see a doctor right away in the next day or two, I've got a fever, a blood infection, whatever, they're like, well, you can go to this clinic, that clinic, that they've contracted out there, which is fine, but go to one of them and tell them who you are. They don't know where to start with you. They don't have any of your medical records. They don't know who the hell you are. I mean, it's not helpful.
No, that's just passing the buck.
Yeah.
That's fresh. What's up? Good to see you. The new face. Michael Barr, what's going on? He says, I spoke with a man once that needed surgery to fix a birth defect so he could have kids. VA would not pay for that. Out of curiosity, he checked out. They would pay for him to get a breast implants.
That's hilarious. That is absolute solid gold. If you can find
that you listen, there is a real situation there. I will, and I don't say this based on experience, okay? So, but one interesting thing about the VA, you'd think that when it comes to, and I understand we have men and women's veterans. We have most VA hospitals are set up to do great things for both, both men and women. But one of the things the VA will pay your subscription, your prescriptions. The VA will pay for what procedures you need, except they will not do dental anymore in most cases ever. So if you go in and say, hey, I'm a veteran, I have a problem with my tooth, they don't have a dent. There is no dental coverage for veterans anymore. But the other thing they will never pay for is medicine to help a guy who, let's just say, may be experiencing ED or something like that. But if you're a woman and you come in and say, I have a hormonal deficiency or I have something like that, they'll cover that all day long. But you come in as a guy, you get some guy who's, let's say, 60 years old, comes in and says, hey, my marriage is falling apart because my body doesn't work the way it used to. The VA is going to laugh at you and say, get out of here. We aren't going to help you with that. Well, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't they? I don't get that.
Well, you're talking about an organization that considers cataract surgery an elective.
Yeah.
Amen, sister.
That's crazy.
Absolutely nuts. I can tell you one thing though. My pops, he had a issue with Agent Orange while he was in Vietnam. And when he came back, it did something to his nerves, right? And they probably spent $8 million on various surgeries to attempt to correct various things. Personally, I think they used him like a guinea pig all the way through all of it, but he doesn't blame not a one of them. Says life sucks, get over it, is his philosophy on it. Man's heart is the Rock of Gibraltar, man. I don't know how to explain it. He's 79, 80. I don't have to check on that, but this man is relentless. I hope I'm half as tough as he is. I might make it to 50.
Well, like I heard the other day, I mean, we might have been on my afternoon show, maybe it's something Leon or somebody said, but we are over the next 2 to 3 years losing the last members of the baby boomers, our greatest generation. And we truly are. I mean, in about 5 years, my kids won't be able to sit down with an old man and say, what was it like in World War II? Or, even our Vietnam vets are going to be in the next decade starting to phase out of the system. I mean, we are very soon going to be to where some of these people who were part of history, some of the most, some of the most important parts of history when it comes to World War II, the Korean War, the Cuban blockade, Vietnam. We're literally a decade away from people not being able to connect with people who were associated with that or a part of that, which really is mind blowing when you think about it.
And who? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's inevitable.
No, it is.
But it's. I don't even know how to react to that.
Yeah, no, it's a tough one. That's just like you said, it's inevitable. It's interesting to think that there are people walking the earth today who spoke face to face with living slaves. There are people, and they're ancient. They're so ancient, and nobody knows. Nobody thinks about things like that. The critical part of history, these people directly witnessed and are not a anecdote to them, but a life fact. the Great Depression.
Yeah. Well, it's just the things that we measure culture and time by versus the familiarity with those things based on age. That we literally, you can't find if you find somebody right now that's under 40 years old, and show them a rotary dial phone, that's a foreign object to them.
Right.
I mean, it's just crazy.
Do you remember the first push button phones? The ones that had the buttons in the circle?
Yeah.
Yes.
Those things were so freaking confusing to me.
Yeah.
You couldn't
They
figure
had to arrange the buttons like they're still on a rotary.
But the thing is people who would try to use it would push the button and then jerk the phone off the table.
That's funny.
And then you try to dial a number on it. It's not in the pattern that you're used to. Your finger doesn't know where to go. And so you feel like a 4-year-old trying to type on a keyboard. It's like, okay, 1, 2, 3.
I'll be right back. Hang on a second. You guys do your thing. I'll be 2 seconds.
We'll wait here.
Yeah, no, I'm going to run off with this entire show. Here's what we're going to do now.
Yep.
I'm going to go through the front using small arms fire and hand-to-hand tactics. I want you to come in through the back using explosives and IEDs, okay?
Yeah, I got that.
All right. We're going to get along just fine, bud. Let's go.
I already got the Claymore set up all the way across the back perimeter. So.
We're going to get along famously because I put the bamboo traps out front.
The punji sticks?
Right. Yeah, the good ones, with the salamander slime on them.
Yeah, yeah. This place
Something
is going to be
wrong with us,
impenetrable by the time he gets back.
Yep. He'll never get us. We just got to take him out when he comes in. What's wrong with us? Something's wrong with us.
I don't know.
Yeah, get us a bouncing Betty right in front of the door. That'll straighten out the whole show, son. Yes, sir.
Did you say IEDs or IUDs? I wasn't sure. I was walking away.
Both.
Yep. I'm getting pregnant tonight.
Whatever it takes.
So, guys, if you're under 40, this is a rotary phone.
Holy shit, it's a hotel phone. 1984 call. They want their phone back.
I subscribe to a channel on YouTube where this couple has a couple kids that are teenagers, and they feature their kids a lot in their videos to kind of make a mockery at how they aren't familiar with things like Walkman and boom boxes and stuff like that. And they showed them one of those phones. They said, "Show us how this works." And both these kids are taking their turns. One of them would poke their hole in one of the little circles. They'd poke their finger just in the circle, like thinking maybe that dialed it. They didn't realize you had to turn it.
I handed a kid an Etch-a-Sketch one time, right? Everybody's seen an Etch-a-Sketch, right?
Sure.
He's like 8. Oh, I happened to pull it out of the closet. I was cleaning up one of my back rooms, walked
The
in.
batteries go on this.
I'm like, I gave it to him. He took it, turned one thing, turned the other, turned it in both directions, did it a couple of times, looked over at me and went, "Okay, so how do I turn it on?" Flipped it over. I was like, it's an Etch-a-Sketch. You
shake it to erase it, right?
You've never seen an Etch-a-Sketch? He's like, nah. I said, well, think about it this way. It's a CNC machine. But you're drawing.
There you go.
That's what it is.
It's a 2-dimensional one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, when I got my certification on the CNC, the guy asked me, he's like, "You picked that up pretty quick, man. Why?" I was like, "What, you never had an Etch-a-Sketch?" Yeah. I don't see the problem. It's like a bunch of them stacked up.
I'm going to do a daytime chill stream tomorrow, and I've got a video that I'm going to play on it that blew me away. I'd never seen this video before. I watch a lot of the America's Got Talent, Australia's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent. I love those shows. I think they're really intriguing to see what some of your average shows that come off the street are capable of talent-wise. It just blows you away. And this one group was 4 guys who were nerds. They were in their 30s. They had degrees. And what they created was they built 196 drones that are all light activated. And they spent like a couple years programming all of the data and all of the whole matrix for how they would move, and did it. They had all like a whole line of a dozen laptops up. They were outdoors at night. They took the whole crowd from AGT Outdoors, Simon Cowell, the judges, and they flew these things up into the air, 196 drones at once, all programmed. And they were doing stuff, making designs the size of skyscrapers. And it was absolutely freaking amazing. I'm thinking, this is 4 guys that figured this out, did it on their own dollar. But you want to talk about the UFO world? You want to rock some people's freaking minds? These guys, if they showed up in your town and nobody knew they were there and they launched that stuff, holy smokes. I can't wait to show people.
It would make the news.
It was absolutely crazy watching this video. But
yeah, that's some intense programming too to do that.
Oh, it was.
I mean, because the proximity, they all have to have proximity.
Yeah.
And shit, so they don't run into each other. Like each drone knows where the other drone is through all that.
I got a question.
Crazy.
Piggy said the Olympics did it.
Yes.
How many Advil do you reckon that took?
I don't know. What was really interesting about it is they'd fly them like they'd get them arranged like the size of a football field in the air at an angle, like tilted at an angle, right? And they would move, and it was the Stars and Stripes, the U.S. flag, and it would look like it's blowing in the wind the way that they were moving. But because it wasn't flat, I mean, they had it like at a 70-degree angle, tilted a little bit, laying, and then they'd move it. While they were doing it, they would move this flag around like this. And you start thinking, okay, that's how that appears to be shaped, but all those drones are sitting straight up and down as they fly. So figuring precisely which one that's 5 feet away from another one needs to move up a foot, and then it needs to move over 2 inches in order to adjust for the look that the flag's blowing. How they had to precisely come up with every single one of those flight paths for that thing and program it. It blows me away that they could do something like that.
But
I saw Figgy
even said that they did that in the Olympics.
Did you see the guy riding the drone in New York? There's this dude who's built like a 5.5 foot wide drone, and he rides it around in New York like a skateboard.
Huh?
It's a hovercraft, basically. It's huge. It's ginormous, but at the same time, he stands on it kind of like a skateboard or a really weird hover round or something. I don't know. What do they call them? Segways? I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can dig that up.
Well, the Segway, there's one wheels. It's called a one wheel. Segway is the one with the handlebars that you ride on. You stand on it. It's got bars. One wheel doesn't have any handlebars.
Wednesday night on Doug and Alex Highcheck's show over on Untold Radio, they had they always play like 6 or 7 videos before they start their show, just stuff that's in culture to look at. And they were showing the guy with the company with the newest version of a jetpack. And they were showing this guy flying around right in front of everybody with this thing on. It just blew my mind at that guy. Just to think literally, we're probably 2 years away from being able to order something like that on Amazon, have it delivered to your house.
A jetpack?
Who knows?
I don't know how much of a good idea that would be to sell.
I'm of the opinion that most morons shouldn't be flying a helicopter.
Probably not.
Certainly wouldn't give them a flying skateboard.
Well, I think the good thing is as soon as they do release them, the these guys that do want to end their life prematurely don't need to go to Canada anymore to do it. Just order, you can just order one of those and go, you know.
Real Stats, good to see you. Take care. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I can't see that. Just morons dropping out of the sky. I don't know. Wasn't
That was me. I do apologize.
It sounded like the beginning of a clip from a song.
No. I don't know. It was some ditty he does at the beginning of his videos. Can you see? No. All right. Can you see the guy here on the hoverboard?
No. Oh yeah.
Homie is flying down the street. Now, how safe does he look?
What the hell is he flying on?
It's a giant drone. He's got the one control in his hand, and supposedly he operates the rest with his feet, but I'm not sure it's real. Looks real. And homie looks terrified enough after he lands it. He looks legitimately, absolutely freaked out, like you should be, flying a drone down a New York City street. You should be weirded the fuck out. It's fine.
Where is this? Where's that video from?
Hunter Cowald. Hold on, I'll get you a link. Am I?
Brad says it's real.
Here, let's do this.
Donald Fuller says it's CG.
Yeah, I can't put it in chat, but there it's in your private chat if you want to drop the guy's link. It's up to you. But it was his video. Just saying. Hunter Cowald. Wait, y'all can't see it. Hold on.
Let's see if I'll just copy that real quick.
There you go.
All right. Comments. All right. I put that link, that video in chat. Hopefully. I didn't click on it to see if it works.
Well, no, I don't share links to videos in chat. I share links to channels because it opens a new window instead of taking someone out of chat to a video.
Oh, right on. Yeah. She said it works, so right on. No, that's cool. That's a cool video. Popular Science. What is this?
When you play a video that's on YouTube, Mugs, have you ever had YouTube take, obviously if you're monetized, that's an issue, but when you're not,
I've never had an issue with, I've never played anybody else's videos. I've played my own.
For the most part, I have a whole bunch, like whole tons and tons and tons and tons. Like it's 90% of my content. And the issue is you have to either do an honest, straight up, legitimate reaction setup with picture, window, chat, everybody.
You have to have a small version of the screen. Your screen of you sitting here with your mic is like 80%, and 20% is the reaction window.
I set mine up in this like this sort of. And then across the bottom of the screen, I'll have the chat running, so you can see the live reactions of the chat while you see what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And because I do it a little different. Most people set this up and then they've never seen it and they don't know what's coming and all that stuff. I don't do that. I bring it to the audience. I've seen it. I know what it's about, but I think it's interesting enough that you might find it interesting if you know about it. Right. But it's hundreds of different channels. It's people, they might have 50 subscribers. They might have 2 million. You never know.
Yeah, I've had it where I've shared either music or video And I've gotten the message from YouTube saying like they banned it in the UK, or somebody who didn't have it licensed to see something. But I certainly in Pine Island Research not being a monetized channel, they never really hit me on it. Even the warning doesn't carry any repercussions.
I've never had a strike.
No,
I got something one time, but
it's the warning. You get a mandatory warning.
But no, they screwed up, and they even said they screwed up, and they reposted it, but they took down a video for something, and there were a couple other channels that had the same issue, and it was a screw up on their part.
Remember,
Right.
language was one of the we kind of laughed. They mentioned language and excessive language or something.
I don't remember what it was about,
That was part of it. I remember laughing about language. Really.
but I knew I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, it was like, even if I've in the past, I sang a couple songs. I gave full credit to the publisher and all that, and in the description. So I never got nailed for that. Like, I guess I did the right thing, But I try not to do anything that will get me a strike. I don't post videos usually.
Do you actively read terms of service?
No.
All right. So I can give you a couple of tips as far as sharing media on YouTube in general. In general, as long as you don't share the sound, and this is almost 99% effective. As long as you don't share the sound, it's not a problem, provided it's not a music video, a Hollywood movie, a full-on commercial, or a direct reproduction of someone else's content uploaded as if it were yours.
One of the reasons why that is because YouTube's AI software that flags and recognizes audio is so much more advanced than that which recognizes reproduced video. They'll catch. I mean, you play 5 seconds of a Rolling Stone song and you're a monetized channel. YouTube knows it. They will have it immediately. Whereas I could put up a Jake Paul video and show 30 seconds of it, and YouTube might not even catch that. But
I just got a notification today in YouTube in the studio, and it was for music. That they have their own music that you can use, so that's what they were offering.
Well, one of the things they have now is
and all that.
If you want to play a music video, if you want to use a piece of music, you can go to the YouTube Music Studio and put that in your description and say song rights, YouTube music video, whatever. And basically what YouTube's saying is, as long as you'll advertise our YouTube music service for us in your description, we won't bust you for using the song.
You just skip all of that and use Netflix. Just make sure you use his copyright-free stuff. There's 196 copyright-free songs over there. They're mostly pop rap type stuff, but what are you going to do? 4 of my theme songs come from Netflix, and I've never received a single. Well, I have 4 different shows I run. I've got Shilling with Sasquatch, where I'll bring you on and we talk about channels that you like. I have Sasquatch Shills, where I bring you on and talk about your channel. And then I have Chilling with Sasquatch, where I bring in 3 different channels with 3 different topics.
So you have Sasquatch Chills and Chilling with Sasquatch.
I have Sasquatch Shills as in
Shills. Okay.
Where I
thought you were saying you have a show called Sasquatch Chills and Chilling with Sasquatch. That would be confusing.
But when I'm doing another show called Shilling with Sasquatch, I bring a co-host on and show them specific videos. So it is a reaction show, but I'm not the one doing the reaction. You are.
Yeah.
That's I'd do that.
Well, I do. Like, it might be 20 really funny TikToks that I found and put together in a row. It might be a stupid video from 1996 that's still hiding in the depths of YouTube.
Huh.
Like Charlie and Candy Mountain. You familiar with Candy Mountain?
No.
I'm not talking about the old song either. All right. So back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, there was a couple of artists who got together and they made a YouTube channel and they created these animations they called Charlie and Candy Mountain. And it's an adventure through a wondrous land with two unicorns that pop in and out of existence around a horse named Charlie. Charlie, Charlie. Do you know about drinking out of cups? Drinking out of You've never heard drinking out of cups?
No.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
I guess I'm about to. I don't spend as much time on YouTube as you do. I mean, like, I do 2 shows a week. That's it. I mean, I watch but
no, it has to do with the fact that I do this thing called YouTube paleontology where I specifically go look for very, very old channels. And so I have people who email me like, hey, do you remember this channel? I think it was named such and such. They did that type of video. And it'll be something like Boxy.
okay.
You probably never heard of Boxy either. 2 minutes, 44 seconds.
Indian? Was he a goddamn asshole? What the fuck is he doing?
It's ridiculous.
Not ever. No way. Now he's Johnny Hammersticks. Hammering away like he's freaking Tommy Noble. What the hell's he doing? Thinks she's got it going bossing over. No way. No way. What is this garbage? What is this? Oh, I'm king of the trees. I'm the tree meister. I count on them. When sometimes I pride, I like the steelest. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. This guy's a faggot. This guy's some sort of faggot Indian in the teepee. This guy thinks he's Captain Knots. Thinks he's Captain Tying Knots. When everyone needs some knots tied, they go to him. Bullshit. Bullshit.
All right. So in the late 90s, there were various radio shows where they would let you call in and run for 3 minutes or whatever, just whatever comes off the top of your head, go for it.
Okay.
And a comedian out of Venice Beach, I think, tried to get on the radio show and kept flubbing his attempt at doing a bit. And so he recorded a full bit and called in until he hit it and played that live on the radio. And that's how he started his career as a comedian. And so when YouTube came around several years later, he uploaded it to YouTube, and Liam Lynch's Lynchland got a hold to it and did the lizard animation to go with it. And I don't know why, but it went viral around 2004 or so, 2005. And it's one of those things where if you come across it before, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that, you know. Or have you ever heard of Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage?
No. Dude, I didn't get into YouTube until like 5 years ago, like into it where I started watching videos.
But remind me of Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. I gotta talk to my wife. I'll be right back.
Sure. I think I'm afraid to remind him.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of the same as you, Mogs. I mean, when people really start nerding out on old YouTube stuff, it's like you're speaking
I'm
French
lost
to me. You know, you've never heard of that channel? They got 3
so
million
many
people. It's like,
fucking
hell
channels
no,
out there,
I don't
dude.
know who they are.
Just so many channels.
I one of the things I was going to maybe talk about if I do an afternoon show tomorrow was I recently heard Joe Rogan read out the private security terms of the new TikTok security stuff. So when you open a TikTok account and agree to all this stuff, the private security measures that you're agreeing to, he read them all off. Dude, it would scare the shit out of you. Really? You're not only handing them the permission to identify what device you're using, access all the private files on the device, which would be all your pictures, everything. Sure. They have access to it. but it also accesses anything that device is networked to. So now your PC, if you're networked to your PC, it can go on your PC and look at all the devices or all of the files. It can see your Apple Pay account and associate the payment or your payment methods with it. I mean, this is all spelled out plain as day in TikTok, ran by China.
I was just going to say,
And
isn't TikTok run by
everybody
China?
is saying yes to the terms of agreement. It is absolutely ridiculous.
People want to be famous, you know, and they
People look at the Chinese spy balloon. People look at the Chinese spy balloon and say, they have no right to do that. Why did we let them fly over our space? Dude, what you just agreed to on TikTok is 800 times worse than a balloon flying over your house.
Absolutely.
800 times worse.
I don't TikTok. So.
I don't get it.
Kaiju says, I wouldn't trust TikTok for obvious reasons. Yeah, I thought they were a Chinese-owned
well, and here's the interesting
company.
thing. He read the Chinese terms, security terms. So if you're a Chinese citizen and you download TikTok on your phone, what you're agreeing to is a very watered down version of that. And this is a communist country that should be able to access anything they want to. They have the right to do that to any of their citizens. They want to know your bank account. They want to tell people they can't. It's a communist country. You can't tell them no.
Yeah, but when they force that on other people.
But my point is their terms, their agreement terms with their own citizens is pretty standard for any contract. It's not that bad. It's pretty watered down. But you look at the terms with the UK, the US, most of the European nations, and you hear Joe Rogan read this out. There's like, you want to run to get your phone and remove TikTok from it as soon as you hear it. It's absolute. I can't believe people have it on their phones. They obviously aren't aware of what they've agreed to. But
I don't think I have it. I don't think I've ever installed it though. Like I have an iPhone and you got to buy everything. I don't know. Let me see. I'm sure I've seen it, but I don't think.
Well, I mean, you've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I mean, those are obviously the big four. But there's probably 12 apps that in a group, 80% of the smartphones in the US have all 12 of those on them, probably.
Yeah, I don't see it. I could be wrong.
Snapchat, yeah, that's one.
Yeah, I don't use Snapchat. I mean, we use Messenger when we talk. We do face to face, or I can do it here on StreamYard.
Yeah, Snapchat is just, to me, I get what they're trying to accomplish in it, but
Snapchat's been around for years.
Yeah, I mean, but my point is the novelty of it. What made it different? You send a picture, somebody looks at it once, they look at it the second time, boom, it's gone, right? Okay, I get it. But that's supposed to give you peace of mind to send it. Oh, I'll send a nude, but only through Snapchat. I won't do it anywhere else. Come on, dude. What's the other point that people were using Snapchat other than that purpose right there? That was it. I mean, if somebody told you 5 years ago, I have Snapchat, what they're really saying is, hey, I'll send you a nude. Because what was the whole novelty of having it? I mean, at that point, when it was new, that was the selling point.
Well, Chessboard says, Jeff, it's not just TikTok. The NSA has been doing that for years without your permission.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree that. But my point is, that's without your permission. The NSA never gave you the opportunity to agree or not agree to a contract. Okay? TikTok is spelling it out in plain English and people are saying, I'm okay with it. I want to see these videos so bad on TikTok. I don't care. And that's what is mind-boggling.
Did I miss somebody in here? Tina G, how's it going? No, I just saw you mention something about, oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, Tina and I were talking about your show.
We haven't even begun to talk about male narrators.
We were talking, Tina and I, about female narrators. She mentioned Cam, and I said, well, yeah, man, and I haven't even begun to talk about male narrators. I'm talking to Tina.
Yeah, there's a lot in my chat. Thanks.
Hey, there's Mr. Lee.
Mr. Lee, what's up, buddy? Good to see you.
Yay!
I'm hoping you're having a safe trip, or maybe you're home now. What is
He
it?
just got back. Took him 13 hours. Long story.
Oh, okay.
I missed everything.
You did miss everything,
From Jeff.
apart from Jeff.
I missed everything apart from Jeff. Only joking. Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you, man. I'm glad you made it back home safe.
See, I guarantee you that's what happened. Mr. Lee was probably taking a lift or whatever they use there in the UK back home from the airport, and he got a notification that said Jeff just popped on the Moog's channel, and Mr. Lee looked at it and said, "Son of a bitch, I gotta get on there."
Yeah, no, it's good to see him. It's like it was weird not seeing him in chat.
Yeah, it was it was kind of an empty niche, wasn't there? Miss Dill, your only mod tonight, was holding down the fort for an hour and a half. For
Well, Stevie's there.
Excuse me.
She's a mod as well.
I thought. I guess but I thought Stevie was. Somebody made the comment in chat. Miss Dill, you're the only mod here tonight. Thank you. I thought it was Stevie that said that to her.
I
But
did say
Yeah.
that. I said she's the only one moderating. I said,
actually taking the range
Yes.
serious.
and I told her thank you.
Yeah, you guys did a great job. I can't thank you guys enough as far as, you know, the modding you do. I don't even think about it. I mean, not that you guys really have to do anything here. Yeah, we don't get issues.
every now and then. But you know what?
Elton, what's up, man?
You gotta have it's like a little. It's almost like a fire drill. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Every now and
sure.
then somebody will say something, but
Paramedics, has everyone asked about you this weekend? Or where the hell is it?
yeah.
Nope, that wasn't it.
Yeah, he was missed. There's no doubt about that. On more than this show, I've seen other chats asking, "Where's Mr. Lee at?"
So, Mr. Lee, you got to go back and watch Tuesday's show.
Oh, he's gonna be mad.
Yeah, I'm trying to piss him off.
That's the first thing I said.
I will say though, concerning Tuesday's show, is that what's his name was behaving very well in chat. Why am I having a brain fart here?
Don't know. Everybody pretty much behaves.
My brain just locked up. Like when you've smoked so much weed that all of a sudden it's like it gets stuck. Just for a moment,
Never got to that point.
Yeah.
You haven't?
Get stuck. It's like, yeah.
It's not permanent. It's just like for like 5 minutes. It's like, why can't I think of that? And then 5 minutes later, it's like, bing, everything starts flowing again. But
the cloud. Memories are shit, can't get past it. Just think of it.
Weed freeze, Tristan calls it. Weed freeze. Buzzard.
What about him?
It just freed up. But yeah, Buzzard behaved very well considering that you had 3 women on. I mean, he made a few funny comments, but
I've never seen him misbehave.
Yeah, right.
Oh, sometimes he'll get on here on stream when Marty's on, and he'll say stuff just to get her go, just to try to the little shock value things he says now and then, which I think everybody appreciates. I don't think anybody's ever offended by anything like that. But
I don't think he's ever said anything offensive.
No.
I had put in chat on Tuesday when he showed up in chat. I says, "Geez, you get 3 women on a panel and." Here comes Buzzard. It's like putting dough estrus out and the big old buck shows up in the field,
Yeah, but the link wasn't in chat, so it was all good. Yeah. I love when Buzzard comes on.
I do too.
He's got good stories.
He's a genuinely funny guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Well, it's getting late. I'm gonna pop off, and you can land your plane if you need to land your plane. What is it? It's
no, I still got 45 minutes thereabouts.
It's 11:18.
Yeah, I thought it said 13. This computer's clock is off.
It's after the.
Oh, I know that much. Wait, what time is it?
It's 11:18.
11?
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, we've actually gone 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
We were
said.
at like an hour and
You're like
13
15
minutes. I'm
minutes over right now.
Where
You
the
said
fuck
we
did
got
that 2 hours
45
go?
minutes. I thought, shit, he must have changed
I
his
think we gotta go
format.
back to smoking this pot conversation.
See, you had a freeze. You had a
Like, what
weed
the hell?
freeze there.
That was
had a
a
weed
time
freeze.
freeze. That's why I'm like looking at the clock going, no, we still got 45
You
minutes.
said, "Oh, we got 45 more minutes." I was staring at my clock, going, trying to do the
Yeah, I
math.
didn't
Going,
even
wait a
notice,
minute,
dude.
what?
I was like,
wait.
Is it daylight savings time already?
"Oh,
What's
dude,
going on?
I can't believe that 2 hours went by that quick. Holy shit. I'm sorry, guys. Well, right on.
Well, you guys have a good rest of your week. Stevie, it was nice hearing you laughing in the background.
Thanks.
All right, Jeff. Well, thanks for popping on, man.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye. Caucasian, you still with us? I think he's still arguing with his wife. I don't know what they were doing, dude. He just said I had to go there and talk to my wife or something.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
He'll come
I
back.
don't-
Hello.
I can put him backstage.
Show me over.
Why is it so dark in here? Who turned off the lights? No shit. That was bizarre. That was a
Dale says, why does everybody have to go anyway?
right. Yeah, I'm just gonna have another cigarette. I don't have to kill this show right this second. I say we take bets on how long it takes Caucasian to come back.
If he comes back. You might have forgot. Weed freeze.
That's funny.
That's the new excuse now.
Weed freeze.
Yeah.
But Dill is right. Where does anybody have to go anyways?
Well,
What's up?
I'll be right back. I'm just trying to hammer some stuff out about tomorrow.
Whatever, dude. What else? We're just gonna
Kaji said,
scroll through chat and
leave Caucasian in there.
yeah, I know that's what I said, dude. He'd be like, "Who turned off the lights?" Come back and he's all lonely and shit.
Hello.
Is anybody here? It's like getting locked in after the place closes. You can get out the same back door that I snuck in. That's what I always said. It was like when I first started the show, it was like, somebody left the back door open to the studio and I just snuck in and started this shit. Who said that? Kaiju. Are you going camping again soon? Dude, we're gonna go. I'm not sure when, but I think our next trip is going to be north, up to North Carolina. And if we go through Georgia, we'll probably stop and talk to this guy.
That sounds cool.
But yeah, it's gonna start getting hot soon, and I don't have like an air conditioner in that camper, and it gets hot in that camper.
Oh yeah, baby. I was talking to my wife about building a camper van, and she was talking about, well, yeah, we could get, one of them little minivans or something. I said, no, ma'am, absolutely not. I will have no part of that.
The first question is, how tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
See,
yeah,
minivan ain't gonna cut.
No, sir, no, sir. I was like, look, we got a couple of choices here, but it all depends on whether you want to pull a trailer or you want to try to actually live in the van. Because I'm not going to live in the van. We can live in a hotel room and travel in the van and have all the convenience of home in the van, or maybe get one of those big ass campaign tents. We might be able to run with some of that activity, but I'm not living in a van down by the river or anywhere else. Just to be clear. I might sleep in a van for a night or two, but I won't live in it. I can't do it. I've done it before. It's no fun.
Yeah.
No. However, that being said, if I could find me a big 4x4, say 3,500, with a van frame instead of the big Sierra frame, not a truck, a full van, big 4-wheel drive, like K10 style.
Yeah.
Put a Econo line on top of it. We can work with that. Now, this is going to sound silly, but I would immediately after I got a hold of the base model, I would go with slightly smaller and less aggressive tires, so you couldn't really tell it was a 4-wheel drive. A little bit bigger rubber. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of those vans, any 4-wheel drive van, it's a 4-wheel drive van.
Yeah, at a glance, but you have to think. But you got to think about it. If it doesn't have the big ass knobby tires on it, it doesn't immediately jump out that wait, that's 4-wheel drive. But if you know.
We've been watching these. I watch a lot of videos on campers and building them and remodeling them. And dude, I watched this. Was it yesterday with the bread van?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that dude. I love that.
This bread van it's 18 feet long. He kept the name on it. It's stealth camping. He kept the name of the restaurant where it came from, the bakery or whatever where it came from, and he's got it so it looks like a construction vehicle. But the inside of this thing is fucking amazing.
I got a buddy of mine down here who has a basically it's you know what a pop out camper type job is, where it's got the 2 slide outs, right? Okay, just hear me out.
I own one.
This dude created a I can't think of the word. He sells drinks and chips and stuff like that.
Concession.
He did a concession wagon out of an old RV, basically. Excellent work. I need to go hunt it down and take pictures of it, because you can't tell it was an RV, but it's obviously an RV when you see how he winds that sucker out, pops the little thing up, makes $2,000 a night. He'll go park a couple of blocks from the high school football game.
Nice.
And everybody knows where he's going to be at. I don't know how, but they know.
I always wanted to do a food truck.
Always wanted a hot dog truck. That was me and my wife's dream, dude. I'm not lying. Me and my wife
didn't have to be the truck. I would do a hot dog cart.
That was what I was going to do. That's what I wanted to do, was build a truck, basically take a large bread truck, something along those lines, outfit it for a slow roll hot dog rotisserie. You could lay out one of those in 2 to 3 square feet, about 2 foot tall. No problem. You could stack 3 of those in there, no problem. Do 2,000 dogs at a roll.
I was going to do Sabrett hot dogs. I was going to have them, because I wanted to do this in Arizona, and I was going to have them shipped. I was just going to order them, have them delivered. But
I wanted to go with the all beef, full on like Hebrew national types, right?
Well, Sabrett's is a good dog. It's the New York, Sabrett's is like the biggest dog in New York as far as every hot dog cart, they all carry.
I'll tell you a sad story. We came up with this while we were sitting there raising our puppy named Champ, who ran into a car and killed himself when he was like 4 months old.
Oh, geez.
Then, like, after I had decided he was dead, he's like laying over there in the yard. He goes, sits up. wanders over, lays down on my foot, and I'm like, freaking zombie dog. What in the world, dude? Homie's not right ever again. He's not quite straight. So we started calling him Simple Chimple. And we decided we were going to start a food truck. We were going to sell hot dogs. We are going to call a $1 hot dog. Just nothing on it. Absolutely nothing on it. It was going to be a Simple Chimple, $1. Everything else, more.
Well, when you say nothing on it, you know,
nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Mustard.
Nothing. It's a Simple Chimple. There's nothing on it.
Just a naked dog.
The joke, a completely naked dog. The joke is he had nothing going on in his head after he ran into that car, because I saw it happen. He ran into the hub of a truck while the truck was running down the road.
Here's another person that a minivan will not work for. Tina G says, my son is 7'1". No joke.
Yeah.
That's a big boy.
That's a big
Holy
boy.
Shit. I mean, I've stood next to a 7'2" guy, and I was just like, what the fuck? I was intimidated as hell.
Most of the real
Stevie just says, now you know how I feel.
I got a cousin who's 7'3", weighs 315 pounds. He's gargantuan. He looks like a big old Viking. Sweetest guy you ever met. Played the flute in high school.
No shit.
I'm not joking, not one bit. He
when
play
we were at
the best of them.
When we were at the 168, one of the guys there was 6'9".
Big boy.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm 6'3", so I need leg room. Like the pop-up that I have, I fit fine in.
Michael, my cousin, he drives a Humvee because it's the only thing he's found big enough to suit.
He fits in. Yeah.
Well, it's not fits. It's that he looks like he belongs in a Humvee. When he sticks his arm out the window and looks at you, it does not look strange. When he gets in a Fiesta and he sticks his arm out the window, you can't see him because he's barely in there.
His knuckles are dragging on the ground when he puts his arm out the window. Still, weed freeze. It says my son will not fit in all cars. We have to have a truck. Getting it back.
My one requirement is it has to go through a drive-through.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if it's a panel van, a Samba truck, one of those mini trucks from Japan. I don't give a shit. It's got to go through a drive-through. If it can fit through a drive-through, we can discuss it.
That's pretty fucked up that that's the only requirement.
I prefer four-wheel drive. I know how to work on Chevy, so I would probably go in that direction. But, you know, it'll drive out the hole you left it in. I'm willing to take it.
Donald says, all the Mustangs I built, I had to move the seat position back from factory.
They got this little sliding clip thing now that you can just bolt into the factory ones, and it extends back another rail. It's just longer. But remember the factory ones are sloped, so the farther back you go, the farther down you go too, I think, if I remember right.
Bill says, come on, it's been a while since we've done overtime. Get grooving with Mogs. Again, thanks for posting the link in chat. Yeah, so I don't know. I would definitely live in a camper, but it would have to be like bigger than what I got. The pop-up's tough, you know.
You convinced me not to do the pop-up. We were talking about getting a pop-up camper and doing that whole thing, and
no, my fucking camper's 30 years old, so
I'm looking for a vintage one. Honestly, you've got about what I was looking for, because these things are tried and true. They're tested. They're not the new bullshit where everything's milled out so fine it'll just crack when you leave the water in.
I've had to rebuild the ends of it the top on it because it had gotten wet at some point and the wood rotted out. And
have you considered going with Amazon and the next time you do it, getting a structural panel to put in place?
What do you mean?
There are these things called structural panels. You can get them any thickness you want, and basically they'll support their own weight. They're typically a little bit stronger than plywood.
Okay.
Because they're synthetic, right? They're plastic, vinyl, or some crap like that. But they replace wood directly. So just like they have like fake decking boards, you can get a fake piece of plywood, slide it in there, and it exists for the rest of time until you catch it on fire and burn it down. And it turns into a smoke screen over Ohio.
Yeah, this was like kind of, it was like where the taillights are, the back is one panel and the front is another panel, and the wood in there just it rotted out. It just, so I replaced it with redwood because that's what I had. So it's sturdy now. It's just like the whole process of you back it in, then you gotta there's a sequence of cranking it up and making sure the door is down before, and there's just, it's a pain in the ass. I want
inevitably you'll break it and you'll have to fix it, and then you'll have to figure
I want something I can just pull over and walk in,
right. See, that's what was one of the things I was trying to explain to my wife. I was like, look, if we operate out of hotel rooms, that's one thing. If that's the plan, is to stay in hotel rooms, I'll do this and we can use a van. But if you're wanting to live in our mode of transport, we're looking at a fairly large truck. And she's like, what do you mean a large truck? I said, do you have a Class C license? She said, no. I said, well, it's going to be a really big truck, really big, because I can just go get my license redone.
Sure.
Get a semi if you want. My one requirement at this point is that it has to go through a drive-through.
Yeah, semi ain't gonna go through a drive-through.
Yeah, the semi ain't gonna make it. Neither is a large Winnebago or anything bigger than a.
Dude, when I was driving a, how was it? I don't know if it was Penske or whatever, 16-foot box truck, and I was towing my pop-up from Arizona, and I went to Baton Rouge, and I went to the airport because Stevie was supposed to meet me there, and I went through this gate, to get to the parking lot. You got to go through the gate that lifts up and shit. I don't know how I fucking made it, dude. I had to make this sharp left turn into this parking lot, and I didn't have to back up. I don't know how I made it into that parking lot. And I think the people that worked there were like, how the fuck did that thing get there? Because I just sat in the parking lot for like 5 hours waiting for her, but she wasn't coming.
I tried.
Have you ever been through Macon, Georgia?
No.
All right. Let me tell you a secret about Macon, Georgia. They have very old roads. The roads are very nice, but they're very old. And so there's not enough of them, and they're not big enough. And so the way Macon has decided to deal with this is they have these lights in the center of the roadway, and at certain times it's either green or red. If it's green, both lanes go in this direction. If it's red, you're fixing to get front-ended head on.
Wow.
So if you're riding along and that light turns red, you immediately merge, because somebody's fixing to pull out in front of you and run you over.
That's crazy.
Because they're so used to people just being from around here and knowing that's how it works. If you're from out of town and you're riding through at 2:30 and it goes from 2:30 to 3:30 while you're still in town, and suddenly that road you just rode down that was 2 lanes in one direction is suddenly 1 lane, and the other lane is now for the other direction of traffic.
Coming, yeah.
Mind blown. I had to pull over on the side of the road and sit there. All right. I see how this could work. But how do you know? Okay. Green light, red light, go. Gotcha. Okay, we're good. Let's go. Button.
Where, when you say the lights in the middle of the road, you mean literally?
The road. There is a lane on the right, there is a lane on the left, and both of these are always opposing. Then in the middle of the road, there is a lane. Has a yellow line on the right side, a yellow line on the left side, and it's dotted down the middle on both sides. And if you're driving down the road and you look up at the lights at every intersection and it's red, do not get in that middle lane.
Okay.
But if you look up at the lights and it's green, you can get over and pass the person in front of you if they're going too slow.
Because there's nothing coming the other way. Okay.
No, because at this point in time during the day, the traffic is more heavy in this direction. And so you get the extra lane to go from here to there.
I got you. Okay.
But when you see it go red, get your happy ass out the road.
Out of the middle of the lane. Got you.
Immediately.
Yeah, I went up to Tennessee. I don't know. It's been a year and a half now, I guess, to Ocoee, and I had to drive up through Atlanta, and that was just like
Spaghetti Junction is something else, ain't she?
I almost was like I'd rather drive through Texas.
You got to be a true kind of crazy come rolling in that crap without a decent vehicle. Think about it. If you broke down on the Cloverleaf over yonder, it'd take you 45 minutes to hopscotch and frogger your way across that so much. Think about that shit, dude. It's absolute freaking suicide. Underground Atlanta's a bunch of zombies that got hit by cars. She's been there.
Anyway, that's when I came back from Land Between the Lakes. I came through Alabama. I didn't even go that way. I didn't go through Nashville. I stayed away from Nashville and Atlanta. I just came straight down, went through Alabama, and then cut across. I was like, I don't want to go near those places. I mean, I like Nashville, but I would have wanted to stop. But I'm towing a trailer, and
Well, did you say you was going to South Carolina or North Carolina?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. North or South? North Carolina. Are we talking mountains or low country?
I think it's mountains. I don't. Yeah.
Are you eating shrimp?
I don't know where the mountains start. I know Asheville was mentioned, but no.
Asheville?
No,
Okay.
no. I know where. An hour east of Charlotte.
Huh.
So whatever's
I
there.
got a cousin over there, bud.
Low country.
It's low country. Yeah, Michael said it's low country.
It's low country. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Love me some low country gumbo, buddy.
Nah.
Some low country balls. Get you some taters, some corn.
Oh, some
Some
sausage.
shrimp, some crawdaddy, some sausages. Dude, I'll mess. I would get drunk as a pirate. I may even conquer a beach.
I used to do a lot of low country boils. I do them for poker games when I was back in Jersey.
I got a place over
clams, crabs. I mean,
Carolina.
I just put everything in there. I'd steam everything in beer.
And it's low country. It's down on Edisto. Pond Top Edisto, be specific. And we can go speak of some gullah back yonder if we want to. Get some of that island patois rolling around.
Stevie's over here. I still want blue crabs.
Blue crabs, baby. Let me tell you a story about blue crabs. This is the most amazing thing I've had happen to me. And I've had a few weird stuff happen. When me and my wife got married, we wasn't able to go on our honeymoon immediately because I had to work, she had to work, and shit just did not work out no matter how hard we tried. So we ended up putting it off like 3 weeks. And then when we did go on our honeymoon, we were flat freaking broke. All we had was a key to the beach house, and that was it. So we scrounged up the change out of the freaking cars and stuff and bought a bunch of ramen noodles and some cheap pizzas and went anyway. Screw it, right? And we get there and we get everything loaded, and I walk out to the beach, and I'm not joking, dude. And I know the East Coast is not famous for its clear waters, but I walked out on the beach, and no joke, the water was so clear I could see the crabs crawling around on the bottom of the ocean. And I went, hold up.
Why we
Handed my wife my phone, and I said, I'll be right back. And I went and got a boogie board and a milk crate. And literally, I'm not even joking, one of those silly little shakers that you get to give to kids to play. I used one of them to scoop up blue crab off the bottom of the water because I could walk around and see them. It was so clear I could just see them on the bottom of the ocean and just pick them up and drop them in a freaking bucket. And then we went and we steamed them, and we spent the whole week eating like that.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
We did ramen crab, ramen and ramen, everything you can imagine.
Seafood flavored ramen. Yeah.
Uh-huh. But I'm not joking, dude. We was broke. It was tough, dude. It was hardcore. I knew you had a key to a beach house. You hear that, but at the same time, it was a choice between staying home and eating because other people eat here, and going to a place because we just flat want to go there, and we could stand to lose a few pounds.
Growing up, man, that's all I did during the summer was crab and fish, and I mean. Not every fish, but we fished for food. We crabbed for food, you know.
I do. Yes, sir. We trout lined. We did the whole thing there. I'm not coastal, so it was catfish and bass and
sure
trout, whatever we could fish up in a weir.
That's a good point.
Hey.
You ever had any pickled eels?
Bat Mom said that was God's wedding gift to you, dude.
I'll tell you another one that happened. My wife found a megalodon tooth on the beach on that trip, and she has been an avid shark's toother for years and has never found a shark's tooth larger than her pinky nail. And when I say years, I mean since she was a small child, she has traveled the same beach year after year after year looking for shark's teeth. She has millions of them in little bottles all over the freaking house, everywhere you could possibly imagine. You're liable to step on get bit by a 1,000,000-year-old shark in my house.
Chesapeake Bay is supposed to be good for that, for megalodon teeth.
She found one this big with the tip broken off. I made a necklace out of it, and she wore it around for like 2 or 3 years. Then somebody tried to snatch it one day, and she decided she wasn't wearing that or none of her other jewelry.
That sucks.
I know, right? Why folks got to be like that? I imagine she gave me a pretty good left hook, though. Nobody ever sees that left hook coming. You just don't expect a woman to just cold cock your ass left-handed. She'll do it. I know it's coming. I'm absolutely aware that it's coming, and it still snakes in on me every now and then because it's left-handed. It's just your brain isn't wired that way.
Miss Still says shave your fun spots equals no crabs.
So on that same trip, we're out there. We've been eating these crabs for like weeks, and crabs got a vengeance upon me, and not the way it sounds. I was out there laying in the surf. Like every now and then, it'll be like a mill pond. There's no waves. There's light swells. It just rises and falls. It doesn't actually curl or wave or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I was laying in the surf, that little bit of, and all of a sudden, something bit me in my little hairy patch, and I squealed like a little schoolgirl and could not make it stop. And so I ended up sprinting all the way back to the house and stripping down in the shower outside. And I had literally a tiny crab going ham where my bathing suit covers. Yes, sir. You look at me like that might not be a true story, but I tell you from God's honest truth, that happened. Little bitty clawy bastard.
That's funny. I was hoping the crab was bigger, and as you're running, it's dangling.
No, man, it was tiny.
That's how I visualized it.
Tiny. It was a little bitty figure.
Crabs are strong, man. I mean, I've taken a blue crab, and put firecrackers in its claws.
And he's like,
oh, it goes off, and they're just sitting there holding the ends of the fireworks. The ends of the paper are gone, but they're still holding it. Doesn't do a damn thing.
Next time, use a bottle rocket.
Then they just spin in circles. Yeah, and crabs. Yeah, you get bit by one. I
Tell you
mean,
what you do. I tell you what you do. You give him a bottle rocket and a pocket knife.
it's an instant Ginsu.
It's like a Roman candle that smells real bad. It can cut you.
Yeah, I'm not handing any crabs weapons. Although that's funny because I did see a crab carry a knife once. It was like I had the knife. I caught the crab and I hadn't put it in the bucket yet, so it was still on the ground running around. And there was like a butter knife. No, there was a steak knife. I was a kid. I didn't have a pocket knife. I don't know, but I had a steak knife with me. I remember that crab grabbing that knife. Just happened to latch onto it. And
Right.
he's running around carrying a knife.
What's messed up is they look like they know what they're doing with it too. They're like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna cut you, arms, son. Don't come over here. I'll get you. I'll stab you real good. Stab you, little fella, isn't he?
But yeah, we're gonna call this quits tonight.
All right, bud.
We're at 2 hours and
45 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of overtime. It's just because it didn't feel like 2 hours. I was like, I'm cheating myself here. I want to feel 2 hours.
I hear you. Just got to go harder. That's what it takes.
You
have a good one. I'm going to back out. Peace.
Thanks, brother. Talk to you soon. Take it easy. Thanks again for popping on, everybody. Jeff.
Still says tonight's topic: bald beavers, fish, and crabs. Want to sub new people?
It wasn't bald beavers. It was bald eagles. But, there's nothing wrong with the bald beaver. They get a little cold, though, but, not as waterproof. I'm not touching that. I think I said too much. My pleasure, Caucasian. Well, guys, if you enjoyed the show, please hit that like button below. If you're new, welcome. And I apologize. Just kidding. Yeah, share this out. And thanks for all the new subscribers. I hope, you're there tomorrow. But yeah. All right, guys. Leave comments, and I love getting comments. All right. Anyway, I'll be back on Tuesday. You guys take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and be good to one another. All right, guys. Peace and God bless. Love you.